Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the George.Daniel podcast. Before we introduce our lovely guests, I do want to shout out my producer, Matt.
Yo.
How we doing? How we doing?
Chilling.
Awesome. How was your week?
It was good, man. Chilling. Got a couple days left, and then I start my weekend, so
Hell yeah.
it's good so far.
And also a quick little shout out to our first sponsor.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Shout out to
Hell
Liquid
yeah.
Death. Shout out to Lance and all the LD fam out there. We appreciate all the fucking Liquid Death that you gave us. If you mix
So
if you mix the lime and some tequila, you're fucking straight, dude.
Fire.
You know, it hydrates you and you get fucking drunk. But yeah, dude. Shout out to Liquid Death. You know, you can find it where you find it. And so, yeah, moving on. I want to introduce to you guys a good friend of mine. You can probably see him, you know, roaming around the clubs at Temple. He's been at Midway. He's been at 1015. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my friend Alexander.
How's it going? Thank you guys for having me. This is a special treat for me, my first podcast.
Hell yeah.
First DJ on the podcast, too. I like that.
Exactly. First DJ. Okay, so how does it feel being on camera when you're not mixing?
Well, to be completely fair, the Twitch thing kind of like made it a lot easier for me to be on camera even when like mixing.
Right.
But like having the cameras here, it is a very different feeling, but
Right.
it's not like, so, you know, like everybody's in the room and it's a casual conversation. I've watched plenty of podcasts, so I don't feel as scared as I thought I might be.
So you watch podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what podcasts do you watch?
Right now, I watch what he and I were just talking about, Bad Friends with Bobby Lee and Dan Shantino.
Yo.
You know, Rogan from time to time if he has something special about, you know, like
Good guess.
the mushroom guy that's on there. I forgot his name. Don't hate me. But some of them that I watch, I'm not an avid. I used to be on like YouTube and like watching stuff all the time. Now I just spend my time working music, and then work basically is like two things for me now. So it kind of takes up a lot more of my time than I'd like, but it is what it is. So
right,
it's cool.
I mean, right off the bat, you seem comfortable on it. I mean, you know, I think that's what the DJing aspect has to do a lot
of
with
eyes on you
know?
at all time.
Right. So it's just like this is exactly kind of what I expected from a DJ, you know?
Hey, thanks.
So yeah, hell
Just
yeah.
let me know if I let you down.
No, fuck no. There's no way. There's no way. But so me and you, we know each other, but
Yes.
we don't know each other, right?
Absolutely.
I know you grew up here in South Bay, East Bay, Fremont, you know. But can you just kind of give me a little rundown, how, like, you know, your upbringing, and then like also how maybe like how you started in the whole music industry.
Sure. So, like, growing up, I grew up in Fremont, California, born and raised. I've been there since my whole life. Still living with the parents because, you know, rent's a little bit too expensive in the Bay Area, but, you know, we won't go into that.
Right.
Ever since then, growing up playing sports, kid. Then my brother, who's actually 16 years older than me, he grew up playing the drums, so I was always fascinated with, like, messing around on that shit.
Right.
I was, like, you know, just causing havoc.
Yeah.
So I was doing that a lot growing up, and then after everything kind of ended, you know, fast forward to, like, once you're in college and stuff like that, I had played the cello, the drums, and all this stuff, like, starting into music. And then once I kind of got done with, like, the pathway of school, I kind of, like, I didn't have anything else, you know, so I didn't have, like, a little structure to my life.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, so, like, what can I do now? And then actually, we'll backtrack a little bit. Before that, the music started with 2013 in sophomore year. And so after 2013, everyone's like, oh, you should DJ. I'm like, well, I really like electronic music. I really like, you know, experimental music. And then my dad, actually, he's probably the reason why I'm here today, doing the things
For a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons. So my first ever concert he took me to was Linkin Park.
Oh, shit.
R.I.P. Chester.
Oh,
so
dude,
I was lucky enough to not only see them, but to have the pleasure to see The Prodigy open up for Linkin Park. So I got to experience something I feel like was way before my time, and I had no
Right.
idea really that kind of like 90s experimental electronic kind of like, you know,
Right.
smack your bitch up like type of stuff. And then I kind of saw that without any knowledge of the Prodigy before, besides maybe that one song
Right.
in movies and stuff. But after that, I was kind of hooked, and I was like, okay. And me and my dad would always go to concerts. Like, he would bring me to another 2 Linkin Park shows from there. And so like after that, it was like 2013, before I was telling all my friends I wanted to DJ. He sent me off on my own. If you guys remember Live 105, R.I.P.
Right. Dude, yeah, that's crazy.
I know,
It's
they-
crazy to, like, I was just having that conversation with someone. The fucking radio stations are dying.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
And Live 105, I forgot, there's another one that died too, but you know, they used to have that big festival at Shoreline, BFD.
Right.
And every year they would have a subsonic tent, which was at the time whatever electronic music
so
was flowing
you
around.
went when Diplo was there,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yeah. Like...
We were probably
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
same.
I grew up in Mountain View, so literally every festival I snuck into, I fucking, you know, I would sneak into random shows and everything. I already told that story, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, dude, Shoreline is my fucking backyard and my favorite fucking place, honestly.
Yeah. And so for that to happen, it was cool because I was like, he would always be like, no, you can't go off on your own. You're too young. And I'm just
Right.
like, let me live, man. So,
Yeah.
And then finally one day he's just like, okay, yeah, you can go do that. And then I spent the entirety of the subsonic tent.
Yeah.
And then after that, I saw Diplo control a room of like 2,500 people, and like people are flying. Inflatables are flying.
Yeah.
Titties are flying. You know, there's so much stuff going on. And
was
I'm just like
insane.
sitting here. I'm just like, there's this one man up there playing. And I was like, and the biggest thing to me was that I had listened to Diplo beforehand, and I was gearing up to listen to a Diplo set. And I feel like if anybody has seen Diplo, regardless of how you feel about him, you can kind of go in expecting something and come out with a complete different
Right.
set that he's played. So I was gearing up towards all this old stuff that he was releasing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he played none of that, and it was a complete party. And I was just like, I think that that's what I want to do. And then
Right.
from then on, I kind of just
Damn, that's crazy.
decided that I wanted to be that one guy controlling a room full of people. Excuse me. And, you know, now we're here.
Damn.
It's on the slow rise. We're not
Right.
there yet, but I'm not.
No, but I mean, you're one of the few people who actually have something released on a label, have like the what do you say? How do you say it?
Accolades? Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The accolades.
I think we could be wrong.
Right. You know, but like you've played the venues, you've done the shit. You yourself, Kush, started Boots and Cats. You
Right.
know, so you guys are your promotion
Event company, yeah.
whatever. You know, like production team, whatever. The same way that we did with Meraki, you know? So, like, that's fucking sick. So, like, so you mentioned that Linkin Park was your first concert, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you are one of the few people who I know who's like went to a stage, saw exactly what the fuck, like, you know,
was going on.
and then like from that moment we're like, dude, I want to do this.
Yeah.
For me, I was just like, I just like to party.
Yeah.
You know? And like I was just like, this is fun. I want to be the guys behind the stage though, controlling everything else. That
Okay.
was like who I like, those are the people who I admired. The people throwing the
And
event.
you know what? Honestly, those are the bigger people that people never think about, because
Right.
you think about the person that's up there because all your attention's on them. But then once you get more deep down into the entire business and just in how an entire show in and of itself works, he doesn't even matter at most of the points, because if everything else doesn't add up to create what he wants.
They do in so many ways.
Yeah,
But
no,
that's why
they're the
that-
backbone of the industry.
For sure.
And they don't get as much praise as they should.
To me, the fun thing is because I grew up throwing like parties
Mm-hmm.
also. So like my favorite thing was curating.
Did you charge at the door for these?
No,
house
of course not.
parties?
But like I really enjoyed just like having a 3-hour playlist
Mm-hmm.
and just letting it play, and everything, like I have it planned out. You know, it was just like those slow
Timing of
you
the
know,
night type deal.
Literally being like, all right, by 11 o'clock, this is where I want people to be. You know, so like, and blah blah blah. So that was the first time where I like kind of like was like, oh, like I was always a kid with an iPod, and they're like, you blah blah blah, like, you know, everyone's always talking shit, being like, oh, you know all these songs, like blah blah blah.
Why don't you start DJing?
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just like, all right, bet. And so yeah, like if it wasn't for Christian Jelly, like we used to DJ at his man cave, like, and that's how I started. And like I didn't know shit. I didn't know how to do anything. And he was my sensei, you know. And yeah, it was really weird. But yeah, he was the one who kind of got me into everything. So you, from a third party, point of view,
Yeah.
I saw you a lot more, like getting busy during the pandemic.
Yeah, because honestly, I'm a person that has to be around people a lot of the times. Not to say that's a good thing, but I love the energy I can get off people in a room, even
Right.
if I don't know you. I'd like to be around people. I like to socialize. That's kind of how I'm able to like kind of let stress out. Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
But after like the whole pandemic, kind of just put me in a box, and I was like, all right, how do I get out of the box without staying in the box, or while staying in the box, right? And then I kind of was like, well, this Twitch thing is like is applicable for what we're doing, but I was like, I don't really know how to do it. So then I kind of like started with my front-facing 2015 MacBook laptop and like a bunch of like rave lights, and then I just would and at first it was just my speakers going into the mic,
Right.
through
Yeah,
and then you wouldn't have bass, you wouldn't have crispy audio,
Right.
if it turned
was
it up
like
too
someone
loud.
doing Instagram live.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Without the direct audio, right? And then as the time went on and us realizing that we're not getting out of this shit anytime soon, I was like, okay, let's kind of figure it out. So then I got a webcam, got some lights, got a green screen, and then I started doing After Hours with Alexander, which kind of flowed, so that was nice.
Right.
So we did After Hours with Alexander, and then every Friday from 9 to God knows when, sometimes 8 a.m., sometimes 4, sometimes I would go crazy. We would just get on Twitch. I would tell all the homies because we had nothing else better to do.
Right.
We were sitting at home.
Yeah.
They'd throw on, while they're playing video games, they throw in the Twitch stream, and next thing you know, I kind of built up an audience. I became an affiliate. I started making money. And then I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. But then, in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is going to end eventually. But then instead of doing that, I kind of put Boots and Cats. Like myself would do that. And then I kind of took that same aspect with Boots and Cats because I never wanted that to die.
Right.
Like I didn't want it to die out. Like I never thought anybody was going to die out, but I really wanted to continue to throw events and coordinate and do everything like that. So I was like, well, let's start throwing festivals.
Right.
Online festivals where we
yeah.
do that. And then that kind of proved itself to be a little bit harder than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Trying to connect multiple people to different virtual settings.
Yeah.
While at the same time keeping the audio crisp and clear and not as much. I mean, you're going to have hiccups here and there, and that's okay. But to keep everything like cohesive and like not get ruined, like,
Right.
that was a real hard
Yeah.
challenge to deal with.
I'm technologically like dumb, like for real. So like that's why like I couldn't do any of this without Matt,
Yeah.
and like
And he just left the room.
right. But I big him up so much though, like for real, like he is half of this, like literally like I was telling Matt, I was like, if it was me and how I was doing it, like during the pandemic, I tried to do something like this. I was doing like episodes where it would be like a 15-minute long conversation with different people. Ivan was one of them, who was our last episode. And it was like the first time where I was like, all right, like I'm going to pretend to be this person character thing and be like interview people who I already know, So and like that was the first time where I was like, oh, I can like genuinely do this and like this would be fun. And like a fun project, and it's different.
Was it hard for you to kind of get, because I know this is the fourth, right? So this is the fourth one. Was it ever hard for you to kind of like you just said, kind of like bridge off that and like not act like you're just interviewing and just shooting the shit instead? Were you like, was it something that you kind of had to like get over after the first episode maybe, or was it always, did you just pick it up and go?
The first episode was very much just shoot from the hip, like not know what the fuck we're going to talk about. I had a general like game plan, just because I wanted to promote what they were talking about, which was Allison with the rummagery and everything. And yeah, like I had like a flow that in mind, the same way that you go into a DJ set. You may not know every single fucking song, but like, all right, by the 25th minute, 28th minute, I want to be at this certain tempo, blah blah blah.
You want to bring it down or up,
right. So it was kind of like that. And also I watch like a lot of stand-up comedy, and a lot of, I think, like comedians and DJs are kind of very, very similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's working a room. One, you're using words. The other one, you're using music. But at the end of the day, if you're fucking up, people will let you know.
Yeah.
And that's,
I feel like that's kind of the best and the worst part about the internet is because if you start fucking up, that you're gonna get the comments and you're gonna figure it out pretty fast.
And like that's why I was just like, I mean, I like honestly, like I don't care what people say per se,
Right.
Until I do, you know, and then that's when I'm like, oh, dude, like I'm trying,
Yeah.
you know, but like I don't mind putting my like sticking my neck out, for like something that like is kind of dope, you know.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Like it's dope. It's dope. It's like, and it's also so much fun. And like I tell all my other guests, excuse me. Like I tell all my other guests, like this would be the only time we would talk. You know, like we would be at it after hours maybe, but there's 10 other people there.
I'm not gonna sit there and listen in your ear,
right?
And try to tell you a dope
like,
story about what happened.
I forgot who over the weekend, like was a fucking wild weekend, but someone was trying to talk to me at the club like this, and I'm like, bro, we're not having a podcast right now. This is not. This is, you know, and I'm just like, dude, this is not like what we're doing. I'm like, I can't hear you. And like, but it was weird. Because I also like I very much have social anxiety, which is weird being a DJ also.
I feel like that kind of helps you out a lot though.
It does because it isolates me away from everyone else
while still being in front, like the main guy.
You know,
yeah.
So it's just like it's like the perfect place. You know, it's either that or in the back of the room, like fucking just dancing. You know, in my dark corner, but
with multiple lights.
Yeah. But yeah. So just to kind of backtrack everything, you started DJing when, like 2019?
No, actually, I've been DJing now, if you can call it DJing, since I got my first controller since 2013. But I've had a entire change of persona, change of like personality,
right.
Change of like everything. I used to call myself T-Baked back in the day. So when I started, I
Thank
called
God
myself.
you switched it.
I know, it was great.
I mean, honestly.
Well, you know what? It came after my last name. My last name's Turbake.
Okay, that, I mean,
and then
in retrospect, like that's cool. I don't know, dude.
Okay, so here's the deal, right? Because like, I was always trying to figure out ways to get gigs before I was 21, and I was not even playing house music like I do now. I wasn't making anything. I was attempting to make things. It wasn't going.
So
anywhere.
what were you DJing, like trap?
Yeah, I was doing trap,
Okay,
experimental, a lot of you know the old stuff like Stooky Sound, Hoochie.
Oh, okay.
All back in the day,
right.
A lot of Bauer, a lot of like all this stuff. So I was trying to find a way to get myself into a club and like do that before I was 21 because my mentor, DJ Technic, Nikolai Reese. I don't know if he'll ever watch this, but I'll probably send it to him.
But shout out to you, my guy.
Shout out Nikolai.
Yeah.
He's the one who taught me how to DJ, and then he was just like, yeah, dude, like I somehow made it into clubs playing when I wasn't 21, and I would get paid.
Yeah.
And I kind of like wanted to follow suit, but it kind of just the firewall was there, and I kind of just didn't really want to go around it. I also had a bunch of other stuff to deal with, like school and the sports I was playing at the time, so I kind of just didn't really worry too much about that. But then after high school, I was like, okay, like, what are we going to do now? And then after a lot of failed attempts and, like, kind of questioning what was going on, I always loved house music because that's how I learned how to beat match, you know?
Yeah.
It's 4/4 and it's on the floor and it doesn't change unless you get a little break in it. But that was always my first love was growing up and, like, learning how to DJ with house music. And then after I decided, I was like, well, you know, what if we just change the name? And then we changed the name to my middle name, ironically. So I went from my last name to my middle name, and now everyone's like, where'd Alexander come from? Because your name's Jordan. And I'm like, well, it's my middle name.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, that's essentially what I did. Like, my real name is George.Daniel, so I just did George.Daniel.
Yes.
You know? And it was just like, I like, trying to come up with, like, a you know, a name,
Yeah.
like I don't, you know, a thing.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like to me it was just like very hard, and also it was just like I don't know, I'm not, I don't know, I'm not a thing. You know, I'm just like,
You gotta make yourself a thing.
right. You know, like I don't know. But like the goal is to like have, eventually people just know me as either like George or Daniel. You know, and just be like, you know.
And then you know what the worst part is? That nobody wanted me to change my name.
It's
At
so
the
weird.
beginning.
I think it, like that's like honestly like perfect because, I mean, yeah, like you're probably hard to find on SoundCloud and stuff.
Actually, it was easier because everything I made during that time was probably like blowing up.
Yeah,
Like it was all like I had a 30-minute mix that was probably has like 60K
Damn.
plays on it, but it's like that doesn't mean shit. Like SoundCloud
Right.
numbers are like 120 or like 300 there to
Right.
get like really noticed. But I just thought it was funny that the first mix I ever came out with was like the mix that people know me as.
Yeah.
And that's like, yeah, that was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I've changed a little bit. You know?
Yeah, of course.
I'm sorry
of
if
course.
you don't like it, but
Right.
I'm on a track and I'm trying to show what I love.
Your
to
range.
my
Yeah, yeah,
range.
yeah.
Not, I don't know. That's
And
what-
also, it's just like, dude, like, I don't know, like, I was talking to someone where I'm like, dude, like this fall winter season is when I usually go into like techno mode.
Really?
Yeah, and then like summer, fall, summer, or spring.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what I like. You know, I'm back on like my tech house stuff where I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right, dude, we're wearing fucking Hawaiian shirts. We're out. The sun's out. You know, I got a
Yeah.
fucking martini. I don't, but you know what I mean. Like,
You drink martinis now?
Yeah. But yeah, like fucking like yeah, it's just like like you just change. You know,
Yeah.
you're in the house more also, and I'm just like, all right, well. I like dark shit, you know, when
yeah.
it's dark outside.
I've never really been like a techno fan until I saw Richie Houghton. And then everybody left me in the Yuma tent at Coachella
Yeah.
to just Russian two-step for like 3 hours. And I was like, yeah, I like techno now.
Yeah,
I understand.
yeah.
Like, I understand it. Like,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I couldn't even fucking honestly like I like techno, but I like it from a distance in the sense of like I love like randomly going to a show and like I can't just listen to it, you know?
Yeah, I'm not one to like stuff on Spotify or SoundCloud.
Same with like drum and bass. I love drum and bass, but I'm not gonna go to a drum and bass show. You
Really?
know, I'm not.
I would see you, like you said, in the corner at a drum and bass show,
Oh,
just
for sure.
losing
Full
your shit.
look.
Yeah,
Full
full look mode.
Dude, no, yeah, like that, like, yeah, if
Full look mode.
I would have for sure, yeah. But, like, I think it's more so, like, I don't want to get fucking so hooked to it, you know?
Dude.
And, like, just that completely become my persona. Because I can
wouldn't-
definitely be, like, a techno snob or be a fucking, like, a one of those Wookiee wooks just running around with my ketamine and shit.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. No, but it's funny because it's like even myself at times I can only handle so much at a time. Like I was always one to throw, shout out my buddy Henry Riffa. He had this crazy track called, I forgot exactly what it's called. It's on my oldest USB.
Yeah.
But it ranged from like 126 went all the way up to 140 and then came back down so that you could transition out of it to house.
Yeah.
And I would always play them every single set, and all the house parties I'd play.
Currently, do you have a song that you, like, always play?
So I do this weird thing where I find a bunch of music and I'll listen to it every day for like 2 weeks, and then it'll get passed by the next set of music.
Yeah, of course.
And then when I hit my shuffle, and then it comes on, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about it because it's now 35 plus songs deep in my
Right.
library. And then I do that. I also do that from time to time on the way here.
Yeah.
I'm passing story and I click shuffle, and then all of a sudden this track comes on that I heard 6 months ago, like randomly.
Right.
And then I'm just like, what? Where the fuck has this been?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just so it's like there's so much music that's always released every week, and like you look forward to it and you play it, and then all of a sudden a month later it's back catalog because you're on trying to be on top of all the music. And everything.
Are you the type of person or type of DJ to be like, I kind of already did this mix, you know, like?
So I wouldn't say like that. I think I do have a lot of favorite transitions that I'll pull out.
Right. So you have your combos, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, because I mean, I think that I was having this conversation with someone, but they are way better DJs than I am. so yeah, take that how you will. But yeah, they were just like, no, like every time I'm on like in front of the decks, I want to try something new for them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, but you're like actually performing in front of people. I'm still in the back room, you know, like.
I always just try to think about it like I'm staring at my wall
Right.
when I'm mixing at home, because if I'm mixing good at home, I'm gonna mix good out there. But the biggest thing is you always have to look up. You can't look down there in the entire set.
Right.
If you're looking down there the entire set, there's no crowd interaction.
Yeah.
And you can't see that one guy that's been hyping you up in the back the entire time.
Yeah,
While
yeah,
everybody else has been kind of like,
Mellow
grooving,
and
just
shit,
mellow
yeah.
groove,
Yeah.
But I've had that multiple times where it's like I look up and I see somebody just absolutely like sweating their dick off in the back, and I'm just like after I'm like, yo, well, thanks for this. He's like, yeah, just give me your Instagram. I'm gonna
Right.
follow you. I'm gonna be at every show you play. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him since, but I appreciate it. It's been nice.
Yeah,
It's nice.
yeah, that moment is nice.
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
It's hella funny because like I mean, it on like the opposite end of that, like if he were to come, maybe the next show, we probably wouldn't remember who that person is.
You want to lead into the segment about how we can never remember anybody's names or what?
Dude,
I think
like-
that's probably the worst part about just being in the nightlife industry and meeting so many great people.
Right.
Is that as soon as I meet a group of 5 people and like we're in an environment like the club, right? I will automatically, no matter what I do, forget their name. And then wait till somebody else says it, and then I'll be like, "Yep, now we're good."
You're always due.
And then 30
you're
minutes
always-
later, and I'll do the same fucking thing.
Right. Like I like the club is not a good place for me to like retain anything outside of alcohol. Like,
That's yeah.
you know, like outside of that, everything is just fucking in one ear out the other, you know.
I'll try so hard to just be like, I'll meet them and I'll just hand them the phone for the Instagram. Not to be like but I just like, I won't remember you. I'll remember your face.
Yeah.
And then next time I see you at, like, for instance, I met this guy, Lee Jones. If you see him, shout out Lee.
Yeah.
He, every time I would go to Halcyon, I would see him every single time.
Right.
And I saw him like 4 times in a row. Remind me your name again? And I felt just like a complete asshole because I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I know this guy's name, but for the life of me, I'm not going to be able to remember it. And I see him every single time.
Yeah.
And it's always the same. We're both at the bar, and I look to my left, and there he is. I'm like, it's like, is it fate that I don't remember this guy's name?
I mean,
Levi. I remember your name now.
nah, but like my thing is always just like, am I supposed to remember your DJ name or your real name? You know,
Say either one.
right?
You
I
can
mean,
call me-
you'd be happy with anything, right? But yeah, like, but yeah, it was like it reminds me of like this meme where like it's like Spider-Man, Iron Man, or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, hey, I am Peter Parker," and then he's like, "Oh, I'm like whatever, Doctor Strange or
Yeah,
whatever."
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, "Oh, we're using our pretend names," you know? It's like literally that's how it feels sometimes when I'm meeting people. They're like they tell me their DJ name after I'm like, "Hey, my name's Danny," like blah blah blah, and I'm like, "Oh, you won't remember me." If I don't use my DJ name, you know, because that's my handle. That's
do you
my
answer
you know,
to every name that it's called?
dude, George, Danny, Daniel, like freaking, they call me Yakums. That's for another story. That's for another podcast. But yeah, it's yeah,
I have some idea.
yeah. No, I mean it's in the name, but you know. But okay, so walk me through how you kind of went from doing like DJing, right? You were DJing. We were all bedroom DJs, you know, and then all of a sudden, were you DJing parties or like, did you ever DJ in front of people at like you know a backyard function or something like that?
Yeah. There's actually one story that stands out the most to me is senior year of high school. Our buddy Andrew Craker. I hope your mom doesn't watch this. Thanks, Holly. So we all knew that they were going out of town, and he had the perfect like open air like family room like kitchen area, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna spend the money. I'm gonna rent speakers. We'll have our buddy that at the time like thought he was a DJ, whatever. Like he'll play like. He'll play his like I don't even know. I think he was playing off an iPad or something.
Right,
so I was
right.
Well, like we'll get him situated, and then like around like 11 or 11:30, like I'll come on, and like I just had this huge vision, and then everything came together, right? And it was just like we had 2 speakers in the house, like absolutely huge 15-inch powered monitors for this small
Fucking everything's
room.
rattling.
Everything's rattling, and then so like it was like the first house party that was like successful for us, and so. That we all of our friends from high school, and then a couple of our homies from other high schools, whatever, and then we just decided to just start drinking while we're setting up and doing all this and like dabbing
thing.
and smoking.
Yeah.
And so like finally like it gets time for me to go up and get on, and I hit the first transition, which was like some GTA into hard house, like
Right.
something crazy, and
Yeah.
everyone was going crazy, and right then I blacked out. And I ran outside and I had to go throw up, and I just sat in the cold grass for like an hour.
Fuck.
And then when I came back in, everyone's still partying, and I couldn't even see. And I'm just like, you know, this is a lesson that you're gonna have to learn the hard way, because your idea just got shat on because you decided to be an asshole and get really drunk before your show.
Yeah.
Or not even your show, just the time that
Yeah.
you were, your entire vision just got ruined
Yeah.
because you decided to be an asshole.
No, that's hilarious because I threw a New Year's Eve or a New Year's party, and fucking I had maybe like 50 people in my house or whatever, you know. And this was at Billy's. I don't know if you went. But yeah, fucking.
Sure, I might have.
But yeah, like we had like maybe like 50 people there. Literally, it struck midnight. Gone.
Yeah.
Gone. I was like somewhere in my backyard, fucking sprawled out.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
Maybe
God.
or maybe not, like near a puddle of yak. Like, you know.
Let's be honest, we were both definitely
Yeah,
in
I mean, yeah, like literally Christian and Arjun, they just fucking picked me up or whatever and just dropped me on my bed. And then everyone was just raging at my house, you know. I woke up and I just had to start cleaning, and I'm like, fuck, dude, this sucks. It would be, I wouldn't mind cleaning if I actually enjoyed it.
Everybody had a good time though, right?
Oh, everyone had a great time. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of things were done in that party, apparently. But okay, so you started DJing in high school, in front of friends and stuff like that.
I DJ'd our Sadie Hawkins dance.
Oh, that's sick.
No.
Oh.
No.
No?
No. So there's another. It took a lot for me to get the okay for that.
Yeah.
They didn't have equipment, and I had a Tractor S4 and a laptop.
Yeah.
And so we had to pull out, like, blow the dust off all this old, like, stuff that were like, it was ran by amplifiers. It was all passive, and I was like, okay. So then it took me like 2.5 hours to set everything up. It sounded terrible. You have to play clean music at high school functions.
I mean,
so I'm sitting there trying to figure it out. I'm dressed really well. Everything's going okay. And then they end it like 2 hours early because there's nobody there.
damn.
And I'm just like sitting there. And then my school resource officer was like, are you high, Jordan? And I'm just like, no, I'm not. I was fucking blazed.
Yeah.
It was great. But, you know, like, just like that was another moment where I was just like, damn, this sucks.
Right.
Nobody supports me.
Yeah.
But also, like, in my high school, I don't really care about those people.
Right. I mean, yeah. It's high school.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, you guys aren't gonna fucking see each other after senior year, you know.
You never know.
Never
know.
But you know, like, okay, so when did you and is there another person involved with Boots and Cats, or is it just you and Kush?
Right now, there's 4 of us.
Okay, bad.
So it's me, Kush, Ali, and Adil.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just added Ali and Adil over the last 6 months, and then it was basically me and Kush, and this other girl at the start, and then she left it, and then did her own thing. But we kind of just built it from the ground up. We did, 2018, we did our first show, which was still to this date our best show. We sold out Origin nightclub in Japantown in SF.
Okay.
With like 650 people.
Damn.
And we did that, and it was like the craziest like ride of a life, because we did a bunch of planning. We had the right people. It was the right time. All of our friends were back from college from during so it like everything. The timing was
perfect.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So I was really excited because for the next step. Right, so my thing was like, okay, cool. You know, we're gonna do the same thing, and like it's gonna be like sky's the limit from here. And then it would just went. Yeah. Not really. It wasn't an explosion. It wasn't anything bad. It was just kind of like a wake up call. Like you can have one good show, and then you have to continue with that same effort, and you know, hopefully timing works out and everything, so that everything can equate to that first show.
Yeah.
But we did that. 2018 we started, and then we're still going now.
Yeah.
We're just solely in SF now and not doing stuff in San Jose.
So you with Boots and Cats, did you do the Midway show through the Boots and Cats name, or was that
That was through my buddy Alex Edward.
Okay.
Shout out Spicy Boys. And
it was
More
just
on the
like-
Floor Records.
Right. Yeah. They just had their what
Launch
opening,
party.
launch party.
Launch
I was
party
like
at the
opening
Midway.
party.
Their launch party on the Midway patio.
Yeah.
And apparently it was great. I don't know, I had to work.
Right.
So,
Yeah. It was a Sunday, I think. Right.
Sunday shows are tough when you.
I
work
mean,
on
yeah,
Sunday.
especially when Friday and Saturday, like just happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, yeah, shout out to them. Right now, I mean, honestly, like just through what he's doing with the marketing side, and then also like everything else, like he really does like the merch side really well.
Merch, graphics, all that stuff.
Like it's like really sick, and it's him.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no one else.
Well, actually, him and Ryan Lincoln are doing more on the floor. But Spicy Boys, which started as a Dirty Bird camp out campsite, and then evolved into a brand, and then evolved into shows.
Right.
And then now he's putting all that into More on the Floor.
Yeah,
And-
because with Spicy Boys, he was like everywhere from like Santa Cruz, San Jose, SF, so like he was, and like I think he did a couple shows in Oakland also.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like for an individual to do all that shit is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine doing something like like
And it, honestly,
as
just
successful as
just
it
going
is.
back and forth, just from like Santa Cruz to SF to Oakland, San Jose,
Yeah.
and just doing all that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of miles.
Okay, so speaking of Santa Cruz, I guess like you've played at Motive before, right?
I have, yes.
I've never been. So
It
like,
is a very interesting vibe in there.
It
I don't
looks
know.
interesting.
It's wild, honestly.
Right. Like it just looks because you played with Ms. Worthy. there. No.
So actually, I got sick that day of the Miss Worthy show,
okay.
but I played. I opened up for Lubelski there.
Oh, okay, bet.
Yeah.
You're like because I know you've played there like twice or whatever. And yeah, like it looks like an interesting room. Like it obviously isn't like huge or whatever.
No, but when it gets packed, it gets really
looks
fun.
like sonically, I'm just immersed in everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
It just like it
you're basically on the same level as the DJ,
Right.
And I kind of like that, the intimacy involved with that.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's definitely like it's not as like new or anything, but it's got an old soul that I think it kind of imbibes Santa Cruz really well,
Right.
which is cool. And then when it gets really popping in there, it's a fucking madhouse.
Yeah, I like honestly like that Santa Cruz like market like seems like so appealing to me in a weird way, just because it's like
it's
very
wild.
like it's like I don't even know how to like it's just homey but reckless.
Yeah.
Like
I call it's a Wook town.
right.
And like they are gonna do one or two things. They're gonna show up in full force, or they're gonna go to where one goes, the other goes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, because
Right.
that's where most of the stuff happens.
yeah.
But lately, what's going on there is I forgot what it's called, but my buddy Ryan Lincoln and Nick Mnemonic, he's been killing it with production and doing everything, and they've been hosting some drum and bass shows at Motive, and they have been going
That makes
off
sense
every
over
time.
there.
And
Like-
it's so cool to see, because like they're from Santa Cruz. They've been doing it, like trying to, I don't even know, I can say trying, but they've been living out there and doing this thing, or their thing out there for so long. Now that they're throwing a party of their own and like seeing other people
Right.
succeed with what they're doing, it's cool.
Right.
It's
right.
cool.
No, yeah. I mean, like right now, like, so okay, you grew up in Fremont.
Mm-hmm.
Is there really even a scene for you to try to like do anything out there, or would you have to like get a private property with a big enough backyard and do all that shit?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Every show that we've tried to do in Fremont was just it wasn't
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's not even, there used to be this bar called the Saddle Rack, and after some unfortunate events there, it got shut down. And then now Fremont has a couple of old town bars that when my brother comes back, when he wants to go out with his buddies, they'll go out there, and then I'll have to come pick him up,
Right.
and then take his ass home. But other than the bars and like literally like going to Lazy Dog, that's it. Like the most fun you can have, and that's not even in Fremont. Like that's a newer.
Damn.
There's really nothing. There's nothing in Fremont.
Damn, that's crazy.
You want to go to college? We got a Loney College.
Yeah.
You can go to college.
No, because I grew up in Mountain View, so like everything was just kind of like fingertip distance away.
Yeah. And you guys have a nightclub too.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's not like popping or anything. Not yet. I mean, they've been trying for
It
years.
has the potential.
For sure. But I think it's more so Mountain View in general. It's just the people that they host don't really like they're trying to like escape that scene.
I feel like Mountain View, there's a lot of pushback from all the older folks.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want Mountain. I feel like that's the same thing with Fremont too, because people to me come to raise their kids in Fremont because of the school system, because they know it's good and they want their kid to, excel and do well. Great. But that also makes it very type of a safe situation. They don't want to put anything that's fun. We don't even have a downtown right now.
Yeah.
All we have, we don't, we have a downtown, but it's like, you can't walk and go to it's nothing like a normal. Yeah. Like you can't walk 2 blocks over and go to this joint and then walk back and then come grab a beer. Like there's nothing like that.
Yeah, I can walk to downtown Mountain View and I can get fucked up.
Yeah, see, we don't even have that.
Yeah, damn.
But it's okay. I don't give a fuck about Fremont, dude. Right. It just sucks.
Okay, so with everything that's going on, with what you're doing, your DJing stuff, because it just seems like I've been added on more and more lineups as of recent. Do you think that there's going to be a release of a new project anytime soon?
A project as in like a name change?
No.
Or like songs.
Songs.
Yeah. I'm not sure I should say this, but I won't say who, but I believe I just signed a 2-track EP.
Okay.
To a local label.
Okay. Sick.
That'll be cool to see.
Damn. On Bump and Grind?
No. No. They are waiting for me to send something.
Shout out to them. They're dope.
Shout out to Sergio and Joe. Shout out to the Bump and Grind team.
Okay,
they're smashing it.
So, are you planning on releasing like top of next year? Or
I'm planning on getting my head out of my ass and just producing more. Okay. That's basically what it is. I told myself I was gonna take a break. Yeah. And then produce, and then I just kept getting asked to play shows, and saying no is something I struggle with, which is especially why I'm at most of the after hours events in San Francisco. So yeah,
dude, I've yet to do an after hours. I was asked to do one last weekend, but I was just like, dude, I mean, honestly,
I still haven't played one, but I just love going to them because I just never want to go home.
Yeah, and I mean, also it's just like, dude, we kind of have to travel to SF. Yeah, so it's just like, well, then make it a full night. Yeah.
It's like get my money's worth.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I'm gonna take the $90 Uber back home,
holy shit.
Yeah, so it's like that's why I'm like that's actually my buddy here, Kush, we found a Boots and Cats. He sent this meme to me the other day. And it said, going out with people who don't know when to go home is probably the most dangerous thing about going out. And he's like, yeah, Jordan, this is you. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to take that as a compliment. Yeah. But I know exactly what you mean. Because if you're with somebody who's not ready for, the night, if you're with, 2 out of the 3 people and they're ready to go, and you just have that one person who's straggling, it's not going to be fun for them. Right. And, I don't want to drag somebody out there and have a full night of fun knowing that they're really not into it. Yeah. Which is I'm sorry, but
I'm the one who teeters the fence where I'm always, since there's usually me, Christian, and Fabian. Christian always wants to go home. Fabian always wants to stay out.
Yes.
Fabian's always just like, I'll get him more drunk and we're going to stay out. And that's.
And it's kind of a, you get somebody a couple shots, the domino effect kind of happens.
It happens,
yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, hey, a majority rules, right? It is a democracy, right? Yeah. For now. Yeah.
We're just going to vote on every afters now.
Dude. Oh, God.
I'm going to leave it up to my social media.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it up to my socials and be like, should I stay out or should I go get some well-needed sleep?
You already know that everyone's going to be like, just stay out.
Just go have some fun.
Everyone wants to watch the debauchery,
Oh, man.
But, no, the after hours look sick. Soundproof has been doing a lot of after hours also. Yeah. They've been killing it also. I want to get one of them on here eventually.
Yeah, I get the homegirl, Jay Little.
Yeah.
She's killing it.
She's been killing it. There's a handful of people that are on the list for next year. It's just that since right now, since we're doing bi-weekly,
Yeah.
it just kind of takes a little bit, but also, you know, it's nice.
Yeah.
Because then like it gives the other person a little bit of time to like kind of think and prep.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I was supposed to think and prep.
No, I mean we'll just be like,
No.
you know, like kind of like, you know, just be like, oh, I'm doing this, you know, because it is a little different, you know, like.
This is definitely different.
Yeah.
But I'd like I could do this a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
It like once you get like
I'm gonna steal your idea. I'm gonna make my own podcast.
Do it. You can use the studio. You can fucking, you know, like that. It doesn't matter. Like
No, I'm
that.
playing. I got way too much on my plate. I can't even make tracks right now, dude.
I mean, yeah. This is the only like right now since I'm not thinking about doing events for the rest of the year until 2023. This has been the only thing that I've been thinking about. Luckily, you know, but
Hey, that's okay.
yeah, come next year we're gonna as Meraki we're gonna like come back. But yeah, it's we're kind of gonna steer away from the bi-weekly events and trying to do all that shit.
We did that for a while, and it's so hard to consistently curate and like try to keep new names and faces involved, and like, you know, that's why we kind of just did like once every 2 months events, and that's what we're gonna keep it for now.
Right. No, yeah, it's probably
Quality
smarter.
over quantity.
Right, and that's where we're kind of at. Like we saw what's like kind of works for us a little bit, and it's mostly like kind of like our parties, not our events, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like our Sadie Hawkins was a really good event. We had like another when Lex does Sweet and Sonic out in Sac, like those do really well.
She does that at the Flamingo House, right?
At Flamingo House,
I
yeah.
just
Flamingo
played-
House is really sick.
I just played there last week. It's insane.
Dude,
I love the Flamingo
you played
House.
with
Lady. Yeah. Shout out Lady. Shout out Bert. Called him Matt last time. Shout out Bert, one of the owners of the Flamingo House.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Flamingo House is fucking sick. I played there twice now. Yeah, twice.
Inside or in the back patio?
Back patio.
Oh, that back patio looks sick.
Yeah, the back patio is sick. The first time I did it, it was the day party. The second time I did it was for Silent Disco, and it was me and Jimmy.
Forget they have the silent discos.
Yeah, so me and Jimmy Groovetron. Shout out to you. We're on the podcast coming up.
Shout out Jimmy. He's got a guest mix on Boots and Cats.
Yeah, nah, Jimmy is one of those guys that is just like everywhere somehow. Yeah. You know? And I'm just dude, how do you, like, what are you doing here? Like every time I see him, I'm just like, what the fuck? Because he'll be like in Sacramento one day, he'll be in Modesto the next, and then next thing you know, he's in San Jose, and you're like, wow, this fool's
he's got a good car,
well traveled. Yeah.
He's getting his oil changed.
Yeah. But shout out to Jimmy. But yeah, the Silent Disco was kind of weird.
You know, I've only listened to silent discos, and it's like it's so weird to just like take off your headphones and just kind of look around and just like this is happening. This is happening. Like you can't hear a fucking word of music, and then just everyone's like singing and like putting their hands up in the air, and it's like this is such a weird environment. It works.
No, it works. It totally works. But it's just like the way you read a room is visually. Yeah. You know, so it's just like, who's listening to my channel? You know?
No, like literally, you're watching, like you transition, and then you're watching somebody
like
change.
Transition.
Yeah, they're like,
channel.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Change, and it's like
ooh.
It's like, okay, fuck. Well,
yeah,
I can't take it personally. I gotta play a better track now.
Yeah, and then like and then there's always like someone playing hip hop, and so you're hearing like you take off your headphones just to see like what's going on. And then they're all singing like Daddy Yankee or whatever. And you're just like, oh, whoa, okay, this is what we're into. Okay. So then you got to dust off those Bad Bunny tracks, and you're like, all right, got to win them back.
Oh, shout out to Lady he played a Bad Bunny track before 9 p.m. last Wednesday.
Damn,
I think that's a new record.
Damn. You just got to get it out of the way.
No, it was great, but they ended up leaving because he only had one Bad Bunny track.
Right.
So,
I mean.
You know, hey.
I think you can only have one on your USB, just to say like, no, I already played it. Look, you know, and
you gotta have a couple.
No, I mean.
Okay, fair enough. I got one.
I mean, like
after tonight, I'll be downloading the entire discography.
Oh yeah, speaking of downloading, did you ever get your files all on Wave?
No.
Dude, you gotta get on that.
$1,400 worth of. Yeah, so any aspiring DJs out there,
Beatport for that. Dude, I already bought the song. Let me fucking.
So I can upgrade for 70 cents.
Each song. That is disgusting.
So yeah, hey, anybody listening out there that is buying MP3s off Beatport, don't do that. I made the mistake, and if you can get away with it until you get to a bigger sound system, and then they will not sound correct on the sound system. I played on a Void sound system at Monarch 2 weeks ago, and you can tell when transitioning from a MP3 to a wave how much more full the song sounds.
Oh shit!
And it literally just kind of tripped me out, and I was just like. Also, the manager at Monarch was like, "You better not be playing any fucking MP3s on my system." And then that's when I was like, "Oh fuck, okay." Not all of them are MP3s,
Right.
But yeah, so now I have 101 pages of 20 songs each at 70 cents. So yeah, so I got to do that. I got to upgrade on my library, but that'll be done over a couple months, and then I'll have my music back.
Damn, dude.
But for now, we're gonna rock with MP3s. So shout out 328 Shout out to the
that's
MP3s.
fucking brutal. No, yeah, I literally you told me that like 2 days ago. I checked all of my songs. I was like, wait,
are they all wave?
They're all wave. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
you.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah,
It's okay. Honestly, it's an honest mistake.
I mean, yeah,
You
but
live and
I don't even play at venues like that. So
It's good.
yeah. Okay, so future shows that you have coming up, you have November 16th. 18th. And then that is...
Or I'm sorry, no, this tomorrow. Oh, well, this will be aired later.
Right.
Never mind. Scratch that. Yeah, November 18th at Halcyon, playing direct support for Luke Van Dyke. So he's nice. He's a nice Dutch DJ.
Right.
And I am a dual citizen to the Netherlands, so
Right.
it kind of adds together. So the Flying Dutchman will be flying.
Dang.
Flying high that night.
Brr.
So if you guys want to check it out, we'll drop the link in there for you guys.
Hell yeah.
Tickets are like $12 right now, but most likely there will be a free before 11 p.m.
It's
guest list.
Halcyon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and then the next show after that, I hear there's some chatter, that we may be playing at 10:15 maybe potentially.
I think we are. I hope it's not potential. I think we're locked in.
Yeah.
I'll be playing upstairs in the club room for A-Craze.
Dude.
So that'll be good. I get to do it to it. So.
I hate you so much. That's gonna be exciting. That's gonna be my first time playing at 10:15. I honestly don't even know where I'm playing or what. If I'm most likely upstairs,
I think
that makes the most sense because
did Hannah book you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where you're upstairs with Gold Block, you're in the club room.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At least I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me.
Yeah. Nah,
Wait till you see the lineup.
Yeah, and then if you see me anywhere else, just scratch your head. It's a typo.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be the biggest show that I've ever played. But you've played with Lebelski, you've played with
Golf Clap.
Golf Clap.
I opened up for Young Franco. Ironically, at
Black
10:15.
V-neck also.
Black V-neck. Who else? I think that's it. I was supposed to open up
Dipsy,
for Worthy,
right? Or how do you?
Yeah,
pronounce-
Dipsy.
Yeah.
Dipsy 305.
That was a day party, right?
Yeah, day party at Halcyon. That's the
Halcyon.
last Halcyon show I played.
Yeah.
And then I opened up for Alandes, Francisco Alandes, at Halcyon. That was the Cinco de Mayo show.
Yeah, I was about to say Day of the Dead, but no, Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Isn't that full Italian?
I have no idea. I hadn't heard of him until my buddy Lenny, shout out Black and White.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, we have this guy. I think we're gonna book this guy." And then I've never seen the DJ do it before, but he was already in the U.S. and had an open date and just put that on his flyer. He was like, "Here's my tour schedule for the U.S. coming up," and it said he has an open date. And then Lenny was like, "Okay, we'll go with that." And I'm like, "Okay." I wish I knew who this guy was before opening up for him. I mean, I looked up some of his tracks. He's super popular.
Right.
He did a bunch of shows in Ibiza this last season.
I was about to say, he's like one of those like Spanish Ibiza European guys.
European DJs.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, honestly, like I want to travel to Europe and see the scene,
I had a bunch of friends do that this summer, and they said we're going back next year. I was like, okay, let me just make my piggy bank a little bit bigger.
Right. Yeah. No, you can get away with like trains and shit out there, but still, like I'm going to be doing I'm going to be living in a hostel or some shit, you know? I'm for sure getting touched. Like it's like not a
Pause.
good scene. Yeah,
Pause.
but you know, like dude, like it's over for me. But no, yeah, fucking, I hella want to go out there. That like, and also like lately, I've been seeing a lot of like of the like Latin countries like getting really into like more and more into bigger shows.
I've seen, I forgot the name of it, but Barcelona right now has one of the craziest shows, and it's called like Brunch or something. And every DJ I saw, even though I'm not the biggest fan, I just saw Gordo play a show there, and it absolutely smashed it. Like everybody's been going there has said that this is like the crazy environment, and then I haven't heard anything else besides like them for like party life. But then,
Right.
one of my homegirls, Sarah, was like traveling after ADE from Amsterdam, and she went to this festival in Germany. And I saw like there is like what we lack in the U.S. is like we're all about a theme, and like they are too, but they kind of immerse themselves in that theme and like make everything kind of like a little bit better from what I mean, I can't compare the two.
Right.
But they do a lot more project mapping out there because they're throwing a lot of shows in secluded areas where they have to bring in everything. Like, a lot of the stuff we do here is stuff, you know, whether it's up in Seattle at the Gorge or at NOS Center, San Bernardino, or, you know, a random speedway, you know, or not a random, but Las Vegas Motor Speedway, EDC, right? So we already have all these like big events that we already know can house all these people. Meanwhile, like they're doing it in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that like gives me like, I mean, the only thing that I can think of that maybe does that is Electric Forest.
Yeah. That's in Michigan, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's out there, and like I have a couple buddies who've gone out there, and they say like it's fully immersed. You know, like which, you know, I mean, we have Burning Man, which is also fully like the most.
I would put Burning Man in a league of its own.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like that, but like it's. We have to do it in extreme version.
Yeah.
You know, while they just like, well, we just have this plot of land. Let's just fucking do it here. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fucking sick. Yeah, I definitely want to go out there for like I want to go to England for what is it,
Glastonbury?
Yeah. That
my dad was trying to go.
Oh really?
Yeah, my dad and my cousin and I were all trying to go.
Dude, that would have been fucking insane.
And then I was just like thinking about it, and I was just like, do I want to go with my dad?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I feel like I could, but I don't know how that would play out.
Right.
But, you know,
yeah,
it didn't
I mean,
end
at
up
the end of
working
the
out.
day, it would be kind of cool just because, like, if you get tapped out, then you could just be like, pops, like you got the next 17 rounds, you know. But yeah, that would be that's one of the festivals that I want to go to. Obviously, like Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
like Tomorrowland looks insane.
Is Tomorrow World
or World? Yeah.
Is it Tomorrow World or Tomorrowland?
I think it's Tomorrow.
Because I know there's a big difference between the two, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
I don't, the one with like the big stage,
the crazy stage. Yeah.
That one. That one looks insane just because like you like watching all the videos and everything. Like you just see all the flags, you know, of every single country and shit.
Yeah.
Is it called Tomorrowland or is it Tomorrowland?
I think it's Tomorrowland.
It's Tomorrowland. Yeah, it has to be Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now it looks like a TV show. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, there we go. Tomorrowland Festival.
And that's held in Bloom. Oh, it's in Belgium, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, but once
Belgium,
again, they just
there
like
we
a
go.
random ass fucking field or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just, you know, change all the.
And they give you a lot of free stuff there.
Really?
I mean, yeah. Like people were saying, like you get like free merch and like there's like free like beauty bars and there's free like everything and you got to pay for like some stuff, you know, obviously. But,
Right.
Like, this, in my opinion, kind of shits on everything.
Yeah. No, just
Because
looking at it.
there's like something like 40 stages or something like that.
Yeah, there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you're there for 5 days, I think.
And it's cool because you can kind of plan your trip around that. You don't need to go all the 5 days,
Right.
Unless you're hardcore. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But you know, you can plan it, go to 2 or 3, and then you know travel the rest of Europe
Exactly.
for the rest of the time.
Exactly.
That's cool.
No, yeah, though, like those two festivals are definitely on top of my list. But speaking of festivals, damn, I don't know. Even if you do know, I don't know if you can answer it.
Yes.
But it is getting closer to the end of the year, and there is Fresh Start happening. Do you know?
Yes.
Yes. Yes?
No.
No.
No. So actually, I got bumped off of last year's Fresh Start.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like, that's mainly why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be like, yo, like, we kind of fucked them over a little bit. Sorry, Midway. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Sarah, Alex, everyone out there.
I don't think they're, I emailed a couple of times and I didn't get anything back. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And
No,
then-
I mean, I know I'm not getting an email. So that's why I just did the DJ competition thing.
Yeah.
Just to see, you know, and like, it would be.
You already submitted a mix?
I already submitted a mix.
This
I
guy's
did
on
it.
top of it.
I did it.
Shit.
Yeah, I did it today. But
Go
yeah.
smash that like button.
Yeah. Mixcloud.
Mixcloud.
You know, I had to make a Mixcloud just to submit it.
Oh, dude, I mean, I understand why they did it on Mixcloud because there's not as much you can like kind of alter
Right.
SoundCloud numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, I do not like Mixcloud.
I'm not the
I
biggest
don't like.
fan.
You can't even rewind.
Yeah, no, Mixcloud is cool for the competition, I guess, but all my mixes are already on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
You know.
It's tough to get somebody to jump from one to another when SoundCloud is already the last place that most people listen to music on.
Right.
Unless you're in, you're trying to find new stuff.
And also, luckily, I mean, I don't know what Mixcloud is, but on Spotify, or on SoundCloud, you only get like 45 free minutes, you know?
Yeah, no, you get like 2 hours of free uploads on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And then after that, you have to pay.
Right.
Which is
so it would just be like
where we're at.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm already paying for that, you
Yeah.
know, like, even though I haven't uploaded shit in so long.
Nah, it's all good. You just uploaded a mix that you can now upload to SoundCloud.
Right. So no word from.
No
that.
word from her.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I'm not gonna hold out anything. I might do a mix this weekend. We'll see. I wasn't planning on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was planning on setting up shop for New Year's Eve in one of my friends' apartments and just DJing for all these people.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll see. We'll see. Who knows?
I mean, the Fresh Start lineup is what? John Summit, and then
There's Joe K and Selection, I believe, for the Friday night warm up. New Year's Day. Wait, New Year's Eve is. That's crazy.
I don't know who the
I don't know.
Is Maddie on?
Maddie on.
Right? And John Summit, or is the other?
No, John Summit's New Year's Day,
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Oh, and then it's Justin Martin, Miss Dre,
Yeah.
and
And
others.
then,
Yeah. No, I mean, it would be fucking sick. I honestly would be so hyped to fucking play that.
I was hyped last year.
Dude, I would be so fucking hyped.
I was hyped because it was New Year's Day, 11 a.m. when all the freaks are out still partying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could play the minimal style of house that I would like because it's groovy as fuck and it's something for like it's not more for an after hours setting, but that would be like kind of where I could get away with playing like after hours type music.
Right.
It's 11 a.m. on New Year's Day, and if you're there, you've been out all night.
Yeah.
And so like, and if you're there,
It's like
you're
Breakfast of Champions, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to that this year too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody's usually like, yeah, we're always at Breakfast at Champions. I'm just like, all right, well, let's see what it's about.
Yeah. How Weird in Breakfast of Champions, if you've never gone, you need to go.
Did you go to How Weird this year?
Not this year, but I've gone and like it. It reminds me that I'm in San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like that's when I'm like, oh shit.
There was that and Folsom Street Fair. Those
Right.
are some of the things where you're just like, yeah, this is San Francisco.
This is San Francisco as fuck, you know. And then like, yeah, it's like one of those events where you're just like, how did you pay for a ticket? But also, how did you pay for your Tesla? You know, it's like it's just like, what are we doing here? I'm so fucking. I have like 6 roommates. I don't, but like, you know what I mean? Like it's just so insane to think about, but. Yeah, I love those street fairs, like festival things. Did you go to the Fisher? You went to the Fisher Block Party, right?
I was at the Fisher Block Party.
Yeah. How was that?
That was a fucking shit show because I'm always losing people. But luckily, this year we got VIP, so I was just like on the side, just like hanging out. Shout out to, I forgot his name, but I just like, you always ask questions and the best they can say is no. So I just like, I saw he was running ice back and forth. I'm like, hey, grab me a 6-pack from back there. And he comes back with like 4 beers. And I'm just like, hey, can we do this again sometime?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is awesome. Like,
Dude,
thanks,
that's
man.
crazy.
And it was a good time. Fisher always throws down. I'm not, the biggest fan of what he releases lately.
Right.
But I support him from day one.
Yeah.
And because everybody and their mother was a supporter until losing it.
Yeah.
And everyone's this shit is overplayed.
Yeah. I mean, that's when I saw him at Dirty Bird. Was when he was there.
When he wasn't a surprise guest, was he?
No.
He was on the main lineup.
Yeah,
right?
he was on the main lineup,
Okay.
but like, yeah, he played that song at any chance he got.
Yeah.
Like he was running around doing
And I
all
think
the Renegades
the
and shit.
funniest part about Fisher is that when he gets to play Losing It, whether it's at the beginning, middle, or end, he plays out the entire fucking track.
Yeah.
And it's just like 6.5 minutes of I'm fucking over it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
But
like,
it's cool because if the crowd's into it, you're
Right.
into it, and it's like you're not.
it's one of those songs. It's one of those songs that you just like, as a person who's like, I knew him before, blah blah blah. Then you're like, oh, they sold out, or like, when you like your favorite rapper all of a sudden makes like a corny song.
I never thought he sold out because he would always make that stuff.
Right. Well, it was just like this first, like it was the first like viral moment for him.
Yeah. Well, I was there at the Do Lab set in like 2016 or 17.
Yeah, 16.
When it was him and then Chris Lake right after, I believe. And that was fucking because he had played a bunch of shit that had never gotten released.
Yeah.
And then people were taking these videos and like trying to figure out when this next fucking track was coming out.
Right.
And then next thing you know, like a year later,
So
the tracks coming out.
do you kind of geek out on like music and shit like that?
Absolutely.
Where you like listen to mixes and you're like, okay, well, I need to go find the song and blah, blah, blah.
I've been really tapped into some of these European Instagram channels that Earwax is one of them. And what they do is something that a lot of other people don't. They'll get videos of people that are local to like maybe UK or wherever in Europe, and they'll realize that their song is being played by, like, for instance, today I saw Jamie Jones was playing one of their artists who they have releases on their channel.
Right.
Like he played one of their songs and then they're reposting it, giving you all the information. They're not leaving you with that, like, what's the ID? What's the ID?
Right.
And then you got trollers in the fucking comments being like, oh, Darude Sandstorm. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate when, everything you're looking for, you watch a video, you like the song, and then all the information for the artist, if it's unreleased, when it's going to get released. Like,
Right.
They're trying to do the best when they can give you that information.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that.
No, yeah, I mean, that just goes down to like good reporting, or whatever.
Absolutely.
Because like, yeah, a lot of the times also like I mean, I do this also where it's just like, someone asked me like, oh, where can I get this song? And I'm just like, it's mine.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, even though like fucking 15,000 other people already like downloaded it also or whatever. But it's just like, well, like if you can't find it, then that's better for me, because then I can keep
playing it in my shows.
Yeah. But yeah, that shit happens to me all the time where like, yeah, someone comes in and is like, I can't Shazam this. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm playing it.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Please don't Shazam.
Yeah. But okay, so with that being said, as a DJ, it's not like comedy where like in comedy, like when someone stole a joke. Mm-hmm. But have you ever? I've heard of someone do this where they took someone's like transition. And is that the same as stealing someone's joke?
I feel like you can argue that it would be one and the same, but I feel like they're two different categories.
Right.
Because you can look at it as if someone's stealing the transition, they did it so well that you're like, oh, fuck, I know that's going to go off. And then so they'll use that.
Yeah.
And like I see that actually all the time right now with James Hype. Because I see a lot of people that are trying to not act like James Hype, but kind of do the same style.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anybody's acting like James Hype because you can't be James Hype.
Right.
But I see a lot of people trying to do that, a lot of the CDJ tricks.
Right.
And, trying to get,
That shit's so
it's insane. And
too much to me. Just
there's so much shit going on at once. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think that it's a bad thing. But I definitely think that if something is that good, it shouldn't be repeated to where it becomes like, oh, I already know what's coming. I already know.
Right.
If I can't remember. I might have stolen a transition or two from, like, if I'm like listening to like let's say for example I'm listening to Jazzy UK. Shout out Jazzy. If I'm listening to him mix and he's mixing in some like crazy shit, I'll take that once and then I'll probably forget it and not use it again.
Yeah. I mean, like for me, like I'm also the type of person where like I don't listen to mixes.
Yeah,
because I don't want to get inspired and start like doing a certain sound.
I haven't listened to mixes in so long.
You know, it's like one of those where
I listen to my own.
Yeah, no, I listen to my own
because
Dude.
I make mixes because I like the songs and I know
exactly. Like I know, like if I'm traveling 30 minutes, I have a 30-minute mix that is perfect for this shit. I have like a 45-minute mix for.
I played 2 of my mixes on the way to Sacramento, and then I played shuffle on the way back.
Yeah, and then you know every song that's coming up, you know, blah blah blah. But yeah, like listening to my own mixes is fun because then I can also be like, oh well, I have this new song that is at the same key. Mm-hmm. I can maybe like the next time I'm behind the decks, I can probably like throw that in, and things like that. But like it also kind of helps me remember the little like combos.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, all right, well, I can do this like 10-minute chunk here, while I do like 20 minutes of new shit, and then go back to 10 minutes where I can get comfortable and reset, and then try some other shit. You know, because I think personally behind the decks, like if like sometimes I like try too hard off, like if that's like a where I'm like I'm trying to do new shit where it's just like and I haven't practiced it.
Yeah.
So like I'm like I've never heard this on the bigs. I've never like blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, like maybe that wasn't it.
Yeah. I do that a lot where I'll like have the decks in front of me. I won't practice, but I'll sit on record box and try to get familiar with the songs.
Right.
But until you're actually like trying to mix in and out of a song and like how they interact with the other songs in your playlist or broad respect like library,
right?
Like it's so hard to go from like I did that like a couple of times when I played at Fate, and I just would get a bunch of new music and a bunch of music that I love, and I would throw them in, and I didn't really know how they worked with each other,
right?
Because I used to do all the time where I would plan out all my mixes, and then I would plan out my live shows with cue points and transitions and stuff like that, and then I kind of like.
Does that get boring for you, or did that get boring for you?
I stopped doing it because I was like, being able to read the room is
more important
to me because as a DJ, if you go set, point A transition to point B to point C, all this stuff, and then all of a sudden you're not getting the same response that you're envisioning in your head where you think like everyone's gonna be fist bumping and having a good time, and you're like kind of just like stuck. Like if you don't have a plan B to go with that, then you're just kind of like left.
Right.
So like I'll get an intro track, and then I'll try to do a closing track, and then everything else is just hopefully kind of works out.
That's kind of how I kind of go about it. Where like I have a general like plan where it's like, all right, well I'm gonna start at like 125, 126, and then like I do want to go up, and then but I also want to bring it down to where it's a comfortable like tempo for the next guy, to jump on.
I'll have to do that for you on the last song, but I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, regardless of when you do it,
I'm always trying to make it better,
because I mean, I think like that's something that a lot of DJs sometimes forget. That's happened to me personally, where it's just like they forget that another person is coming on. Yeah. And your song is 3 minutes long. Yeah. And you handed it off at a minute.
And you're gonna hand them off into an emergency loop, and then it's just gonna be it's
an awkward 45, where like people were just kind of like, all right, it's the same loop, like and it's still me just fucking, where's that song, and now I'm sweating all before I've even played a song.
Yeah. That's also, it kind of gets you like really psyched up.
It does,
but and then also, because like I've had that happen to me before, and then you're sitting there and you're just like, this motherfucker really, like,
right,
or they leave you on a song that can't be mixed into, like, because it's like it's either like really technical or like a breakbeat track or something, and it's like
they closed hard,
and then they closed hard, and then I'm like, okay, fuck, now I have to completely 180 my what I was like thinking in my mind, but then that also comes back to the point of that's why I don't plan stuff out anymore, because it's like even if I had an idea for my opening track, that can be changed so easily, rather than like I would rather kind of like not try to like flip it too hard. Like if somebody's playing bass house, I'm gonna play a real groovy like tech track that is gonna kind of vibe with the same thing that they ended with,
right? Or
if they're gonna play something melodic, I'm gonna come in with something that goes absolutely melodic into something like super hard to keep it kind of flowing, right? Just doing everything I can to try to keep the party moving without the faders coming down, and the music stopping.
Yeah, no, that's like I mean, that just comes down to like DJ etiquette, right?
Yeah.
You know, at the end
More
of the
or less,
day.
yeah.
And like that comes with time, and like I've been a part, you know, like I've definitely left someone
Time.
for dead, you know.
What everybody doesn't want to have.
Yeah.
Or everybody wants something to happen right now.
Right.
And
Everyone
then
wants that
nobody
instant gratification, you know.
I'm guilty of it.
No, for
So
sure,
much.
for sure. Like I till this day, like I tweeted maybe like this like a week ago, where I'm like, if you want instant gratification, put up a reel. Like that shit will hit like 1,000 like views or whatever.
Yeah.
Like in 6 hours, and you're just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
we're doing something.
Yeah,
You know, like
exactly.
we're moving units.
I
But
feel like it's a whole different like ball game now with like TikTok, Reels. Hopefully Vine comes back. I'm not gonna shout out Elon because I'm not gonna do that right now.
right. Yeah.
But you know, it's like all these people are so used to, you know, a minute long video, flip it, 3 minute long video, and then
Yeah.
everybody is so accustomed to not having patience and not waiting for something,
Right.
that they're always looking for something. That's why I feel like it's hard to be a house DJ at times, because if I'm letting a track groove and ride out, yeah, you might have to sit through 6 minutes of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
not every time, but there's
But-
a reason why I let it flow up, because the first drop's not going to be the same as the second or the third because of the evolution of the track.
For sure. Okay, so me as a DJ, I sometimes think about this where I do give out like in between, like in my mixes, I do plan out for a 5 minute like breather, so then people can be like, hey, like, so like, oh yeah, so how are you doing, like blah blah blah, so people can look at each other and talk, because that
Absolutely.
just kind of like resets the room a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you come back in, you know.
Come back,
And then all of a
everyone's
sudden people are
dancing.
just like dancing, or like people are like focused on whatever the fuck you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like I that to me is the same as like controlling the room, whether like in the sense of like keeping everyone moving. Sometimes it's good to be like, hey, touch base with everyone around you real quick, you
Yeah.
know, like you just throw on a,
kind of ground yourself and the people that
right
are in the
you know?
dance floor. Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
and also just like for me as someone who's there, like I want to be able to look up for like, you know, for 3 minutes and just be with you guys also.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and yeah, that's the way I kind of DJ. It's kind of selfish in some ways, where it's just like this is a bad quote from this person, but it's from Kanye, where it's like, my biggest like regret is not being able to see myself perform, you know. And he said it in a cocky way, but to me it was like, it's more so like like I want to be in the center with you guys, you know.
Yeah.
And honestly, someone else can be playing, but like I want to, like, you know.
Backstage is fun, but being in the crowd is the best part.
Right. Like I
part.
love being in the crowd, because not just because like everyone's singing along or whatever, but then I love people watching, and I love watching the person who's
You can
kinda
get
like,
energy off somebody just dancing to the left of you.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I went to see Boys Noise, and some guy was out. Like, he just took one too many hits of acid or whatever, and he was just gone. But like his dancing, like, kind of like infected everyone around him, and we all just started dancing, you know.
So like he kind of just started.
He
the
just
whole
became
thing.
this little like beacon of like energy. So everyone
Yeah.
was just like, well, like, let's not make him feel weird, and then like started dancing also, you know. And then all of a sudden, like,
Don't put him into the dark state.
right.
Whatever
So
you
then
do.
like everyone, like, you know, just started dancing around him, and then next thing you know, like the people who aren't even really like paying attention to him, those people were like just bopping along too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dude, this is why we go to these things, you know. This is why we come like in like giant groups.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
But yeah,
it's a whole thing with energy and dance floors and just
dude,
track
it's
selection.
insane.
And
I have a synesthesia, so like I can visualize like music, and like I get sensory. The reason why I have like
is that what it's called?
yeah,
Okay, I think I have that too.
so-
Undiagnosed.
right? But like I'm a real weirdo, you know, like and yeah, like that's why like I have social anxiety in these festival settings, because I'm just like, dude, there's so much going on internally already that like trying to like sit and talk to you, I'm just like, did you hear that? Did you see that? Like,
Yeah.
you know, in my head,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, like
I'm always doing that. I'm always just like, someone's talking to me and I'm like half listening to them, but I'm just like trying to scan and find out what the fuck is going on.
Right.
You
And
know, because
like-
I'm always like, am I gonna see a celebrity? Am I gonna see like it's like a DJ that I know? Am I gonna see
There's just
like
so much
a
going
random
on.
group of people that I've been trying to meet up with for the last 30 minutes, but we have no cell signal? Like,
Right.
It's just all these things are adding up together.
and like That's why it's so much like it's fun to put yourself in those situations, but it's tough when you have to bring yourself out. You know?
Yeah. I never like bringing myself out of those situations.
Right. You know, that's why we go to the after hours all the fucking time. We're like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I've been a good boy as of late, though.
Let's change that.
Dude, on Saturday, I might have to. Tiana's playing. She guest listed me. And then
Andres Hannenberg.
Yeah.
Shout out.
That's how you pronounce his name. I
I could be wrong, too.
Oh, okay.
Hannenberg?
Okay.
Hannenberg?
Dude, I did that one random commercial thing, and I think I butchered homie's name.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, no.
I think you got kind of close.
I mean, like, if you know, you know,
close.
you know?
Yeah, Hannenberg.
Yeah.
Hannenberg. Yeah.
But
You're
yeah,
fine.
Tiana got wants to guest list me, and I'm like, I get off of work at 10 or whatever.
Honestly, everything that I've seen, he did a lot of Twitch streams on Desert Hearts. Shout out Desert Hearts because they got
Is he
me.
a Desert Heart DJ?
He's
or like resident?
Nah, he's not. The only residents of Desert Hearts are Marbs, Evan, KC, I believe, Porky, Mikey Lyon, and Lee Reynolds.
Right.
I believe.
Right.
But two of those guys are on Desert Hearts Black.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I know Marbs and a couple other guys are, but yeah, the OG crew is Porky, Mikey, and Lee. Yeah.
Shout out to Lee. He's
Yeah.
been doing a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Are you planning on going to the Desert Heart camp out?
I'm supposed to plan on it. I had to sell my ticket last year because I couldn't get work off.
Okay. Yeah.
But then I also kind of hope that they do something a little bit different. I heard some backlash, but honestly, since I've never been, I can't really like. I'm just excited to be a part of the experience because I know from looking at
this
it.
was the first year. This past
that they changed from Los Coyotes
Right.
Reservoir to somewhere in
SoCal, right?
Riverside area, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I definitely want to go over there just because, like, I think it's like the middle ground of like what Dirty Bird was and like what LIB is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that middle.
That's a great way to put it. Actually,
You know, like,
I kind of view it as the same too.
Right. So it's just like it's like it still gives me that like quirky, like fun, like you can be a beginner, but you can also be well experienced.
Yeah.
But then also it gives me that like I know I'm gonna see some shit. You know, like whether it's music and the artist or whether it's like the people there, or I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
You know. And yeah, like that's kind of like how I think of LIB is very just like this is gonna be one of those.
Couldn't even go to LIB because I had work this year either.
No,
so.
I want to go next year.
I want to go so
next
bad.
year, you know,
because I live
like-
at the Dulab when I go to Coachella.
Dude, that's
I live there.
Yeah,
and I
that's
live
like every
there. I
state.
live there in the Yuma tent. I was like, you can pry me away from either one,
Right.
And it's not gonna work out. I'll leave and I'll find my way back to that.
Yeah. No, yeah. I went to so many fucking festivals growing up that like I ended up being that friend where I'm like, I know you guys don't want to see this artist, but I don't need you guys. I'm gonna escape. You know, I want to see 4B.
Yeah.
I want to see GTA.
I wanna see all these
you know, like I want to see them. You know,
I would be that person that like take like we're going to Coachella. I would because this is the major festival I've been
Right.
to. I would say like, you want to have a good time, follow me, and then we'd go and I take them on this fucking musical journey through stuff that they probably hadn't heard of,
Right.
And then they're gonna come out of it like, holy shit, and they're like, oh, I gotta go watch Beyonce now. I'm like, all right, go have
Yeah.
fun. I'm gonna be.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
doing something
I'd
else.
go see.
Oh, I saw Beyonce too. Trust me. I saw Beyonce too.
And that was when she fucking had the whole like
The marching band,
the
yeah.
marching band and everything, dude.
Reliving
that was-
my roots of marching band.
Dude.
That was fun.
Okay, so you mentioned. Okay, so kind of steer the conversation to
Yeah.
kind of production
Yeah.
standpoint. You mentioned that you played cello, which
Yeah.
is absurd.
I played the cello for like a year, maybe a year and some change.
Dude,
But-
the cello is one of those. It's kind of like the bassoon.
No, it's like an upright bass.
No, I know,
like,
but that, to me, those are the same style. It's just like the kid who does that, like, loves that.
yeah, I wasn't that. I wasn't that. I wish I was.
Or came late to fucking music class or whatever, and then that was the last instrument. You know, like
that was it was an interesting like type of deal because I have a hard time reading music. I can't do it. I've tried.
Yeah.
I don't know how I passed band freshman year of high school, marching band.
Yeah.
Because
Are you dyslexic?
Yes, very.
Cool. Same.
I'm super dyslexic.
Yeah, no, to me, like it does like looking at like music notes baffles me.
Yeah.
After like a minute or two, I'm just like, what is this?
I could
like,
do a C major and C major triplet scale, and then after that, it's fucking over my head.
Yeah,
because it's one note up, one note, and then you go C to C, and then you come back, and then after that, you're good.
So
anything else, fucking.
Are you kind of like Nick Cannon and Drumline, where you're like, I can see it, and if I see someone,
I can hear it.
Right, and then you can mimic it, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like that's how I am. I'm like
I can hear.
Yeah. So like I tried to dabble in the drums and like or on the drums and like literally like I need someone to do it 3 times.
Yeah.
So then I can like you know, and then next I can kind of do it, but like obviously,
or if you kind of have it ingrained in your mind enough that you can kind of hear it in your head and then kind of realize when you're messing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never able to like read even like I can read sheet music for like percussion because
I couldn't be able to read in general.
Yeah,
I'm dyslexic as fuck.
Man, I don't know how to read shit.
like, dude, no, like, yeah, I'm really good. I'm really good at English. I do really well in like English when I have like
speak
time.
well.
Yeah,
super good at English.
But like if I have like time to think and like write it out, it comes out like really proper.
You're
like
a visual and auditory learner.
Yeah. But like with these, I'm gonna say words that aren't even words. I'm gonna say words and they don't mean the thing that I mean. And that's just gonna happen, you know, because I'm dumb. But
don't sell yourself short. Come on.
No. I mean, like, like I'm trying, you know. But so with the whole marching band thing and everything, do you use any of that you learned there in the production side now?
I wish I could say I used a little bit more. I used probably a minimal amount. I'll do like finger drumming. I have an Ableton Push that allows me to do some finger drumming. So
did it teach you anything? Like, did it teach you structure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it taught you like the fundamentals.
Yeah, and then counting time, I can like keep time really well. Not that I need to anymore because I'm not marching anymore. I only did that for 1 year, and then I couldn't structure it like around my life outside of that because it get involved with sports, and I couldn't do sports.
What sports did you play?
I played hockey and baseball.
I'm not gonna say I kind of knew it, but yeah.
But then when you do marching band and you're in percussion, there you have to mandatorily do something called winter guard. So as soon as marching band season's over and you're done with all your parades, you have to go do winter guard, and then that is a complete different show. Like as cool as it was, because our first year that we did it, the only year that I did it, we did dueling tablas, which are Indian drums. Okay. And we had a couple Indian guys on our drum line that would actually have drums. So like we would all like they would take off their one was a tenor and one was a snare player. So they'd take off their drums in the middle of the entire thing, get down and duel with these Indian drums in the middle of it. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever. Yeah. Because I like a lot of like culture and like you know like whether it's like Spanish music with trumpets or like in Middle Eastern drums or anything like that. Right. I like all the samples involved with music. So like even before I started this house music stuff, I was like already like doing this, and like it was just cool, like because it's like right there in front of you and like you're immersed into it. Right. But then having to practice and do all that other shit, I was just kind of like, okay, I'm good. So I mean, like that's like such a Bay Area experience. Yeah. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like I like have this conversation a lot with people where I'm just like, first off, I want to know where you grew up, because then from there I can be like, oh, okay, you had this sort of upbringing. Yeah. Not talking about financial or anything like that, but just like the people around you. And like, yeah, like growing up in the Bay Area, especially like this East Bay, South Bay area where there's a lot of it's a melting pot of people, of cultures. Right. And it's awesome. Right. And it's also like it's also like a lot of like of the Asian culture in general. Yeah. Whether or not it's like if it's like Korean or Chinese or Indian even, like it a lot of it like you with my immigrant parents, they had zero idea of these humans, you know, like of what they are and how to like, you know. Okay, yeah, I got you. You know what I mean? With my experience. But like they knew white people and they knew black people. That's who they knew. So like me growing up,
in these areas, I've like was so enamored and so like drawn to like different cultures in general, where I'm just like, dude, like what's kimchi? Like, you know what I mean? Like, or like I'll be like, dude, what? Like that looks like an empanada, and they're like, no, it's a samosa, and I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? And I'm just like,
it's true though.
you know, and I'm just like, oh, dude, that's so sick. But also with that said, like, there's the music aspect, like you were bringing up, where like it really like. I grew up with like nothing but Mexican music, and like banda and like cumbias and salsa and everything like that. But and then I personally chose to listen to hip hop, so it was just like very just like everything.
But no matter what you did growing up, they're always that culture is still instilled in your head, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So like that's why when like you know like right currently like I hate the Latin house stuff.
Yeah.
I hate it because I'm just like, to me internally, I'm just like, this is.
Don't say too much here.
No. To me personally, I'm just like, dude, reggaeton is so fucking sick. But then also the other side, I'm just like, but why do we have to put house? You know, like any like house.
Well, remember before the Latin house movement, it was the reggaeton movement,
right?
With like et cetera, and all those and.
But that was the same tempo.
Is it the same tempo?
I mean, it's just,
I thought it was like
double time.
I thought it was 115, like 110.
Reggaeton is probably like a Moombahton.
Oh, I'm sorry, Moombahton.
Right,
That's
so
what I'm talking about.
Moombahton is like 100, 115.
Yeah.
Reggaeton is like what 85 to 90. So it's just sped up a little bit more, so you can grind on your girl a little longer.
Yeah.
Sorry, but like you know what I mean.
We're not sorry.
But like that was fucking Dylan Francis for a while. You know what I mean? And like that was like that to me was still okay, even though it was Dylan Francis and he was just like, I grew up in LA. I'm like, this is blah blah blah. Sorry, but like yeah, like I'm just
some white dude playing some Moombahton. You know?
I'm just like nah, like all right.
But I'm really good at it.
Yeah, no, and that's why like I went to Electric Bounce House here in San Jose State, and it was Diplo and Dylan Francis.
I was there,
dude. Wow. I was so sober with my
that one up,
dude, with my ex, and like, dude, we still had a great time. Don't get me wrong, it was a good time, you know, because we knew how to like have fun. But literally, I was like, this is the last time I'm doing this. Like, I think it was also because it was like all the ABGs and all their dudes.
Shout out ABGs.
Yeah, shout out to the ABGs.
Shout out to the ABGs.
Your guys are pieces of shit and don't know how to say excuse me, and that's it.
All you gotta do is like walk in the crowd and hey, my bad, I'm right behind you. Excuse me. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. But
it's 2 words.
Every guy with the bandana and his shirt's off.
I plead the fifth on that one. That's all you.
But
that's all you, man.
You know what I mean? Anyways,
that's all you.
But no, yeah, I saw them and like, dude, it was so fucking. It was sick. But I was just like, that was when I was sober enough to think these things where I'm just like, dude, like, why is this white guy just doing Moombahton, you know? And then now, fast forward, we have people like Dem 2, we have people like Black V-Neck, we have people like Suave, like Hitta, like with so many, like I'm missing names, you know?
To be honest. Oh no, that's an artist.
Oh, okay. I was like,
No, to be honest.
96 Vibe.
Yeah, 96 Vibe.
But
even Fully's in
right,
there too.
Right. Yeah.
I was about to say Jazzy.
No, Jazzy.
Sorry, Jazzy.
Yeah. But yeah, like now, fast forward, now it's all of like these brown guys doing brown music, and I'm just like, dude, that's fucking sick. Like now we're back to like, you know, back to like the original shit. But yeah, that's why I have this kind of like torn like mindset of Latin house, even though I try to DJ it so much, you know.
Dude, Latin house is great.
No, yeah. But yeah,
I also think it's really funny when you have like the whitest DJs making Latin house.
It's just
because right now it sells, and that's my jadedness and everything coming out, and I'm very jaded, and I will always say that, you know. Before the thing is,
you know,
if they can do it correctly.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset.
Great.
But my thing is just because you have trumpets doesn't mean all of a sudden you need to make it a Latin house thing. You know,
true. Yeah.
It's you can do it and still not make it your own. You know, make it yours, the general style that you do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that it's you can't say that because then you're like, well, don't box me in and blah blah blah. And I get that. But at the same time, I'm just like, you know,
No, it's like honestly, a lot of the problem right now, in my opinion, not with a like Latin house or anything. Just like everybody, especially in SF, is trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? They're trying to and I'm speaking biasly because I stopped playing a lot of what when I first started entering the scene as a house DJ, I was playing all the Dirty Bird. I was playing a lot of Dirty Bird remixes. I was playing a lot of stuff that was like what I knew, right? And then like as I kept going and going and going, people were playing the same set with different, they're playing the same set with like different like song choices.
Right.
Like they're playing the same set. Like there's a Chris Lake song at the beginning with this guy, and then there's a Chris Lake song at the end with this guy.
Right.
And then that's why I kind of like was like that. What I was saying earlier, like Desert Hearts, their Twitch during the pandemic, me taking all these mushrooms, I was like, there's so much more to fucking like house music than just this. Like whether it's driving peak time techno to melodic tech house, or not melodic house and techno, to all this stuff, to minimal, to deep tech. And then that's where I kind of like told myself, I was like, you can be different. Like you kind of have to find your avenue of where you want to go as a DJ or artist. And then that's where I'm at now. That's why I'm playing a bunch of stuff, and like sometimes the shows don't go my way, but I'm always happy.
We're having fun though.
I'm always having fun, but it's like, you might not get the same reaction as when you're playing all these, remixes or like Chris Lake tracks or like all the same stuff that you're like everyone like now knows because it's such a mainstream thing. Yeah. Which is like if I were to tell you that in 2013, you would have been like, go fuck yourself. Yeah. But now that we're here, it's great.
Right. Real quick, I need to pee.
Yeah, go pee.
All right, bet. All right, so we were talking about the style of DJing and everything that you do. But earlier we were talking about the production side of everything. So do you think that your next drop is going to be different from what you've dropped already?
Yeah, so the first song I came out with out on Predator Records, shout out Mix Culture. A lot of you guys won't remember that. That's Dem 2 before Dem 2 was a thing.
Oh, shit.
They used to be called Mixed Culture, but they and 96.5 were running Predator Records, and I got my first release on them. And I remixed their track with Preda Sin, shout out Sin, called Sex and Technology. And so that one was one of my favorite songs that I've written, but I never really play it out because of how intricate and like...
It's like a song.
It's like a real song.
Yeah.
So it's not like every song a person makes is a song.
Right.
But it's like, it's a little more intricate and doesn't really flow with how my sets kind of go today. Mm-hmm. And so I'm kind of gearing myself with what I'm doing lately on how I'm going to interact with, like, if I make a song, it's going to go well in my sets. Okay. Yeah. Right. So I'm trying to work on my production to work with my sets rather than me think, I'll still make songs and do stuff that it's like, it's really nice and like it flows and there's a lot of moving parts and like ear candy and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I kind of want to make more stuff that I can play out live so that people can kind of be like, right.
I mean, that makes the most sense.
What's that? What did he just play right there? And I'd be like, that's me.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's kind of like me personally. Like, I would love to get into the production side of everything, but I'm more in the production side of event planning.
Yeah, I mean, you're producing no matter what.
Right. So like that's where I am. Where like I used to think of like a producer, as like someone who can bring these strings together from this specific person and then bring in this vocalist and like blah blah blah. But that's kind of what I'm doing. That's what like event planning.
Trying to be like a DJ Khaled, huh?
I mean,
God did,
but like for real. But like like that to me, like that I don't want.
You're bringing people together to create something insane.
Like for me, it's always just been like try to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, like that's why like when I do drop an EP, I already kind of have a concept where it's gonna be like it's gonna be a song that I can mix, obviously, but and then I have like an R&B homie who I want her to do her thing with those stems. I have a hip hop homie who I want him to do stuff with that stem and like do stuff like that where the EP is like 4 different genres of all the same stems where you're just like, oh shit, like this is tight, I mean, it's been done, but it's always just been in the umbrella of EDM or electronic music, you know? Yeah. But yeah, that's why I kind of bring it up where it's just like, are you thinking of like concepts or anything like that?
I'm kind of like basing my production right now off of like other people's style, but not in the sense that like I'm trying to copy them. I'm trying to make something that goes along the lines of where I'm trying to take my sound.
Right.
But then at the same time kind of has that same, like, for instance, like I made something that is titled like BB Beat. So it's like a Michael Beebe like inspired like track.
Right.
But it's not something that I don't think he would play or put on Solid Grooves or something.
Right.
I don't know. Hopefully
Right.
if it's on Solid
Yeah,
Grooves,
yeah.
that'd be sick. But no, like I try to use like reference tracks and a lot for inspiration and like example of like I want something to sound like this, but I don't want to mimic it to where I'm copying the bass line and
Yeah.
like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I really am just like I'm trying to find my sound right now, and it's hard because I'm constantly opening and making new projects and never finishing one.
Yeah.
So I have probably like 16 different projects where if I were to finish them, 8 of them might be good for what I'm doing now, and I would be able to put them in my sets, but until I get my head out of my ass and decide
Yeah,
to finish
yeah,
the
yeah.
tracks. And like no matter what I do, I talk to Dipsy, I've talked to my homie in Arizona, Waste Wisely. He's a big minimal producer out there. And they're both just like, just finish the tracks. Like you're gonna make 150 songs
Yeah.
before you come up with one that's gonna land somewhere where you're just like, holy shit, I never thought that would happen.
Yeah.
So
So
it's just a big thing. I was just like, make tracks, finish them, and then if they suck, then just leave it.
right.
You know?
So do you ever just go and just like think of like releasing just free like
Yeah.
tracks, you know,
Yeah.
and just being like, well, these are kind of throwaways.
I have about 5 that I need to finish that I want to put out in the first 4 months of 2023.
All right. So yeah, like so that kind of gives people a little like a hopeful, you know.
Oh, the music's
know.
coming, baby.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah,
the
yeah.
music's coming. Don't get it twisted. I might have released something 5 months ago, but the music's coming.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know?
And like okay, so like what? So you said that you have maybe like 16 tracks that are just like sitting, waiting to get finished. How do you find your inspiration? And how do you try to dig yourself out and like you are in your current state?
Damn, that's crazy. So to find inspiration, or to like basically when you feel the least amount of inspiration, is when I make the best music. So I'll sit
So
there.
were you the type of person that like, are you a tough love person?
Explain.
Like, are you the type like I'm a tough love person in the sense of like I kind of need to feel like a failure in order to fucking do the thing.
Yes and no. I feel like I like a lot. I have a lot. I don't feel like a failure right now. I just feel like I've let a lot of time.
Or just
go
being
by.
lazy, you know what I mean?
I've definitely.
Yeah.
I've definitely. I mean, like,
Right.
where everybody's got something that they're going through, all this shit, and like your laziness, like, and then like that's why like the other night I got on Ableton and I just started grinding, and then next thing you know it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, that's nice. Like,
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about sleep. Like,
Right.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Right.
But you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, I'll do that. But it's like, it's like it's weird where the inspiration comes and then it leaves. Like 2 weeks ago, I was inspired and I was ready to take over the world, and then now I'm just kind of just like, fuck.
Right.
Yeah. But I feel like everybody has those waves of inspiration.
Right.
And then what I didn't do is I didn't take that inspiration. I didn't put it down. You know. So I was really inspired and I was ready to take on the day and I was ready to go. Like, tomorrow's gonna be my bitch. I'm gonna be
Right.
great. I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. And then life gets in the way. And then all of a sudden you're just like, and now you're kind of left with like back in your little like not rut, but like in this like kind of like headspace where
Right.
you're not really sure what to do. You're kind of questioning yourself, and then next thing you know, you're just kind of not doing anything.
Yeah.
And like when that happens, I'm kind of just like, that's what I'm saying. I talk to other people, I get it off my chest, and I try to just like make sure that people know like where I'm at, so that like, because I don't like to be the type of guy to like go out and put on a false smile.
Right.
Like even when I'm out like clubbing or partying, I don't want to go out there and just be like, yeah, I'm having a great fucking time, when then inside I'm just dying. I just don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But most of the time I'm like, I'm happy because once I'm out of like that situation or that space, I can kind of just like
Let go.
alter. Yeah, I can let
Yeah.
go and alter my headspace. So I can just be a different person out there.
Yeah.
It's also why I love going out.
Yeah, I feel like like you said earlier, you feed off of other people's energies, and
Yeah.
you like you're definitely a social butterfly, and like
Shout out butterflies.
but no, yeah, like I'm like kind of the opposite, where like I find most of my inspiration when I am alone, and then like I when I'm around, like I'm in social settings, it ends up being me just kind of like listening to other people, where I'm just like, ooh, like that's cool. Okay, like
Yeah.
I'll keep that in the back of my head, and then I'll like research it later type
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And like it's just kind of the difference of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. But so when you are creating music and you are finding for a specific, like your sound is minimal, right? Would that be a safe,
Like it's like
minimal tech, right?
I mean, you could even call it tech house too if you wanted, but it's
Right.
like I wouldn't like personally call it that. I would say that it's geared toward a minimal, deeper style.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stabs. There's a lot of emotion in the track. Hopefully,
Right, right,
by the
right.
time I'm done with it, hopefully there's a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
emotion.
yeah, yeah.
Either I'm crying or the sound song's great. But yeah, it's yeah.
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 Okay. And then, so with you saying that you're gonna have a release come out, hopefully in the first quarter of next year. Can you walk me through the conversation an artist has with a label when it comes to actual leasing? Because I know people who don't know how to start that conversation and don't know where they should be. You know?
And honestly, it's a lot of trial and error.
For sure.
It also helps that you put yourself out there. Like I said earlier, when you have an idea or something and you want to ask somebody a question or whatever, the best thing they can say is no. Or the worst thing they can say is no. Maybe, and they can add insult and tell you go fuck yourself, and then they'll just dig the knife a little bit deeper. But it's fine.
The knife is in you regardless.
Honestly, like, for example, my last track that came out on Fresh Break Recordings, that came out about, I would like sent my buddy some music and I was just like, hey, here's some stuff like I've been working on. He's like, oh, I like this. Can you have it done in 2 weeks? And I'm just like, oh, like, is it that easy? No, it's not. But it's like, there's opportunities that you get in this industry that you kind of just have to roll with. And I haven't had enough experience to be like, I've gotten labels say no to me. Like, I've sent demos out and like all that stuff. That doesn't really bother me. It's like, no, it's not a good fit for us right now.
Right.
Okay, that's fine.
Right.
I'll send you some stuff later if I feel like it, or if that sound gears toward your label.
Right.
But really, from my experience, it's the connection you make from going out and being that asshole that stays out all night, and whether or not you take that person's Instagram and you reach out the next day, is probably been a bigger thing for me that has kind of geared me with my success, because I could have just been like, yeah, now we follow each other. We know each other or know of each other, whatever.
Right.
Instead, I'll kind of just reach out. I'll make it a point to like reach out, like whether that be for shows, for music, like you're saying. And that's really how I've gotten a lot of my stuff out there in the public eyes, because I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this? And I'll send them a 1 to 2 or a full finished song. And be like, what do you think? And okay, we want to sign this. I'm like, okay.
Right. So walk me through the actual process of getting a track signed, right?
Yeah.
Because to most people, they have no idea. They just think like, oh, you released with the label, you know? And then they just think that like you handed them a song and then you own everything.
Yeah.
You know?
No, so the only 2 contracts that I've signed so far, it's a 50-50 split between the publisher, which is the record label, the record label, and the artist. So you will get a letter sent to you, an agreement that acknowledges everything. You as the artist, if you have an LLC at the time, you're that LLC or however you're going to collect your earnings.
Right.
So you'll sign that, and then there will be a specific publishing date, and then after that publishing date comes out, if it's so far in advance, about a month or probably 2 months before, they'll send you all the promo, like video stuff that you can put on Instagram stories, snippets to post, like all that stuff. And then from there, it's your job to kind of get the people on your socials kind of ready for the release. Don't tease it too much, then they're pretty much going to know the whole damn song. But a lot of the bigger artists that I see that I feel like it's really good is when you were able to send stuff out on like in flight. And so like if let's say I get Mau P to like take one of my songs and he starts playing it out.
Right.
And then if anybody else likes it, then they'll pick it up and they'll start playing it out. And then all of a sudden you get a video in somebody's Instagram story and you'll be like, holy shit, that's my song that they're playing out live. And then all of a sudden you can ask them, be like, hey, send me that video. And then all of a sudden it just becomes this huge like domino effect of DJs playing your music. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? And it's like that, like the artist I'm talking about, like Mal P, he did the drugs and Amsterdam song, right? And then all of a sudden he's just like, he went from 0 to 100 from one song because everybody and their mother was teasing it before it had a whole entire month to drop. Yeah. And so I feel like that's if I were to do something like that, that's how I'm going to do it.
So okay, so in order for a song to kind of like blow up, right? There's obviously different factors and blah 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 and all this, you know, depending on like what label you drop it on and like whatever. But for the most part, do you think that I mean, obviously it's going to be easier like who you know and who you can give it out to. Yeah. But for someone, let's say for like myself, right? I know you, Fully, and Jazzy, and those are like the most reach.
And Wezzy.
Yeah, and the three idiots, you know. But yeah, like and those would probably be like my biggest outreach, right? But like, how would a no name person try? Like, what would be the best marketing plan?
Direct message.
Okay.
I would say because that's what's worked for me. I don't have as much experience as, let's say, Fully would, as like getting something signed. That's gonna blow up in their favor. Like some of his last stuff has been played by Shiba-san. What's his name? Dombresky. Like all this stuff. Like for that to be like for you to get it played by like the bigger artist. I would say just like kind of like spamming them and like, you know, sending it to their demo link, sending it to the email. I know a lot of people are still a firm believer in like trying to personally hand a DJ a USB with all their unreleased music on it. And honestly, Diplo just made a TikTok he made a video about it on his Instagram or whatever.
Of someone handing him
of a bunch of people from ADE. When he was on the panel, they sent him, they're just sending, like giving him flash drives of music. And like, he only reviewed one song and he's like, wow, I like it. Yeah. And it's like, that's all it takes. It's like, you got to put yourself out there. The worst thing they can do is say no. The worst thing they can do is leave you on red. Yeah. You know, like say like, okay, this guy, like his assistant didn't give a shit about my track, so that they're not going to send it to him.
Yeah. But I think
the biggest thing is start small, work your way up, because that network of people from that record label, like let's say you get a small local record label and you go through them, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get in contact with them rather than if you go to Solid Grooves. If you go to Defected, shout out Defected, you know, if you do all that, and it's just going to be a lot easier for you, because I feel like the amount of traffic that they're getting is going to be less than the larger labels. So your chances of getting at least looked at and listened to is just so much larger. Right.
Yeah. I think that's like one thing that I've noticed is just you kind of have to put yourself out there. Yeah. Like, you know, like there's a lot of talented people who are making music who have 100 followers. Oh yeah. You know, when it's like, it's so upsetting.
And all their music is like fire.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's so upsetting that like all you need is like maybe one friend who's a little better at you than social media, you know? And like that's all you need, and like all of a sudden your shit blows up.
I know one of my guys, we both know him, Des Castillo.
Yeah.
He needs to start sending his shit out, because his shit is getting crazy.
Dude, I mean, well, like right now he had that mix series that he was doing, right?
Yeah, he's still doing it.
Right.
The Rooftop.
The Rooftop series. And he started that kind of towards the end of the pandemic. I think. But like, yeah, I've seen him do all that.
I believe that's where my next mix is coming out on.
Okay.
So there we
go. But yeah, he's been doing all of that, and then just like just trying to find different avenues, you know, to try to like put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be at every show, which is why I wanted to do a podcast. Yeah. You know, it's just like a little easier where you're gonna see my face and it's gonna be annoying on social media.
Big thing too is stop asking your friends to go to every show that you play, because it's not gonna be the case.
No, for sure. Yeah, that's not gonna be the case. And yeah, I mean,
as much as your friends love you, they're not gonna go sit in a sweaty nightclub
right
every Friday for 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the thing,
And then expect you to go to the afters with them.
yeah. Well, I mean, like that's mainly why I'm hitting you up. Is because like, dude, we're gonna have a good night.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
morning.
Like,
Like,
it might be 2 days. Who knows?
yeah, exactly. Like we're in the city, we might as well make it worth it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, like I understand like the frustration where like local talent is like, yo, like why aren't things happening to me? Or like I'm doing things too.
Local talent's a lot about who you know.
For sure.
It's more or less like you get an opportunity to showcase yourself, and especially if you've been hitting those people up for X amount of days, months, years, whatever, if you don't show love to the people that put you up there, or if you don't do good,
Yeah.
the likelihood of you getting asked back is not going to be that high.
Right.
So it's like if you like, I this could be a big advice to somebody. If you get that opportunity, make sure it's the best thing you've ever fucking done.
Right.
Because that is going to be how you look at. Because it's like you and me, like you were in Meraki for like Bay Area Meraki. Right. I run Boots and Cats, but it's like I'm always talking to other people that are doing shows, be like, I've had this person on and they've thrown the fuck down. I would totally love to see them on a show that you guys do. And I'm a firm believer of like I'm always trying to put different people on. So it's like whether I'm playing shows at like Level 44 in San Jose that don't really do that well, but if my homie's coming and he's an awesome top 40 DJ, shout out my boy Jay Leno. Not the real Jay Leno.
I was about to say what?
No. No, give me a car. No.
Yeah.
No, but it's like I'm always trying to put them on. Like because I know that for a fact San Jose is always
Top
more
40,
top 40
yeah, hip-hop, yeah.
R&B, whatever. But it's like if I can help, I love to help people
Right.
get to the next step because I always wish that I was helped in the early days. That's why I made Boots and Cats. Nobody wanted to put me on.
Right.
And until I made my own thing, and then people kind of started to see what I had to offer. Then they're like, oh, okay, then it makes sense. But it's like, at the early days, no one really wanted to give you a chance.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, that sucks. I'm gonna give everybody a chance that I really can help.
Right.
And if I can do that, it makes me feel good.
Exactly.
It makes me feel warm inside, you know?
Right. I mean, it doesn't pay the bills, but it definitely,
Nah, fuck paying bills.
Yeah.
Come after me, IRS. Let's go. Edit that shit out.
But no,
I swear. I know I owe like $50 on my taxes. I'm sorry.
$50. They're gonna
Time stamped it. It's out.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right. So, to kind of like circle back a little bit to you and Boots and Cats a little bit.
Sure.
So for 2023, are you guys still going to do the whole like one event every 2 month thing, or like is there?
Right now we're working more on trying to get an act, rather than just do some local stuff. I love throwing local people on. It is kind of how I got here. It's kind of how we all got here.
Right.
But then at the time, you kind of got to mix it up, right? Not everybody's going to want to go to a locals only show, even if you have locals that are killing it all the time. I'm trying to gear towards quality shows, not quantity. So I'll still be doing like the F8 because that's our home base right now.
Right.
So the Fate shows, they'll still be happening. We're really trying to work on shows where we're bringing somebody who is maybe not necessarily popping as much in the San Francisco scene, maybe LA scene or whatever, but is popping as a whole.
Right.
And so I'm excited for what's to come, and we got some like-minded people, or individuals I should say, that are ready to take on 2023. So look out for all the shows we're about to do then, but we have nothing that I can talk about on here now.
Yeah, no, I mean there's a couple of shows that are happening in 2023 that aren't put on by Meraki and aren't put on by me, but I've at least had some sort of play in it. And it makes me feel really good, like it makes me feel like, dude, you should have this artist on. Like I don't do techno, but like this is a really good techno artist that you should bring on. Like they have X amount of followers, you can bring them up. It's going to cost you maybe $400 plus board, and just like from there, like I know she'll or he.
Anybody who's watching this, send me any $400 artists, please.
Dude, like
I need some fire.
Like that's the thing. Like I really want to have this conversation where it's just like being a promoter is not just fucking picking artists, right? No. There's so much involved, and that's what like kind of pisses me off sometimes with like DJs who are only DJs and only focus on that, it's just like, dude, you don't understand that like this took months of planning.
Yeah.
You hit me up about this because you saw the teaser flyer, you know, and it's just like, but we already have everything booked. We already have all these things. It wasn't that we didn't think about you. It was just the fact
The
that
teaser comes out, they hit you up. And
Yeah,
like,
and-
wait, can I get on the show? Next one.
yeah,
But like,
and then even the next one, we already have that like that idea doesn't fit what you do.
Yeah.
You know, now all of a sudden we're doing a disco night, or now we're doing
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, but you play dark techno. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can't throw you on there like as much as I would love to. But yeah, it's one of those conversations that like people kind of like don't like to have, because it's just like you sound like the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just like sometimes
you
like
just got to say it.
right.
And you just got, well, I mean, it's also like, it's your company, right?
Yeah.
And it's what you're trying to do in the vibe you're trying to curate and portray to the people. Right. So if you're coming on and you're not begging, but you're trying to get on a show, wait just a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, trust me, like, I don't know, like, there's a lot of people that want to play in the Boots and Cat shows, but not everybody fits the exact criteria for the type of vibe we're going for this. And that's why, like, I kind of said that this is the last Houseaholic we're doing, because it's like, I want a little bit more than house in some of the shows.
Yeah.
I mean, we are doing a bass, like just an experimental bass backroom takeover.
Okay.
But then but that's all with our own artists.
Right. Yeah. So, I think that's where...
I just want to get a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
Like you said, like, because you hate drum and bass, you know?
No, I mean, like the thing is, like right now, like I get bored really quickly of things. So like I need to just kind of keep some sort of change of pace. Which is why we're kind of like stemming away from the whole tech house thing, and moving into parties. Yeah. So and then we can be like, all right, well, this is gonna be a techno party, or this is gonna be a disco party, or this is gonna be blah blah blah. And then that way, it gives us more room to like be a part of different communities, you know? Like
absolutely.
if the whole umbrella is electronic music, we all love different things. Like some of us actually do like side trance. Some of us.
Like I said, give me 15 minutes of side trance, and then we'll go to the next stage.
That's But
like, then after that, I'm just like, then I'll still be doing my.
But that's
my
I
dance,
only know those people because they're Brazilian, you know.
Sorry, Brazilian.
No, like, dude, that's your shit, and that's cool. But yeah, like I don't fuck with it heavy, but like
you can't lie there. That shit gets you going.
No, it does, but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't fuck with it heavy, but I know enough artists to where I can be like, hey, I can actually put on a show for them. You know, help them out.
Yeah.
It also would bring a different crowd looking at what we're doing, but also merge our already existing crowd over there.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's just like that's my thing with the podcast and everything, is just kind of bridging gaps, making sure that people were like, you might not hit them up every weekend, but maybe on a random fucking Thursday you're like, hey, so what's good tonight, you know? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, pull up, we're at FA, or hey, we're at Monarch, or whatever. And then that's what we're trying to gear up to for 2023, which seems like what you guys are kind of doing also. Because like I said, the whole like tech house scene is slowly dying down, which
good and bad
comes in phases, because like, I mean, I'm always gonna DJ that. But like, I also do like I'm more of like a festival style type. I don't do well in like club. Like I can't like I don't let songs
just put them on the festival stage. Goddamn.
Yeah, like I don't do
put
well.
Them on there.
Yeah, I don't do well when like But I can rock an hour. Like that's also another thing that we're gonna start moving towards is the hour and a half long set.
Yeah.
No more hours.
Telling a story in an hour is fucking hard.
Also, like
especially when you play like me, I'll try to play like 5 minutes of a track because there's evolution and there's changing.
Well, for us, like the thing is that we're trying to avoid is we don't want people to come because of a DJ. We want people to come because of the party.
Yeah.
You know? So like right now we're just like we'll limit the amount of DJs, so it's not like as a small time promoter, that's the only reason why we have 5 people on the lineup.
Yeah.
Is so 5 people can do promotion, including and plus the club.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
That's the only fucking reason. Also, it cuts our lower or like our costs a little bit.
Yeah.
Because then you can be like, well, the first two DJs are getting paid this, then the next guys are getting paid this, and then the headliner is obviously getting paid a little more.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's just business, right? But this way we can kind of just be like, well, the first two acts are getting paid this, and this is fair. You guys are doing the same amount of work, and the headliner gets paid X. But also the hour and a half long thing forces artists to kind of like not just phone it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
there's a lot of
You
times
gotta
people,
work. You gotta work for that
There's a lot of
set,
times
you know?
when people just phone it in and it's fine, but it's just like, dude, I needed you to kill it. I wanted you to kill it.
Yeah.
Like,
and you left me wanting more.
right. So it's just like, bro, like I know what you can do. And sometimes you just get artists where they're just like, well, there's only 5 people here. Yeah, but those 5 people don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, they came because of our party.
Yeah.
You know, or like, you know.
Yeah, no matter. I played empty rooms. I played
Right.
large rooms. I mean, not even that many people, but like a packed house, like
Right.
full of 50,
Yeah.
50 plus, right?
Right.
But no matter what, I'm always gonna give it 100%.
Like, yeah.
'Cause it's like you never know who's in the crowd listening, and you never know who's like a manager at the spot. Like if like when I played at Temple Rooftop,
Right.
I was just playing as groovy as I could, as I was.
You
the
did that
opener.
with T-Real, right?
Trio House.
Trio
yeah.
House.
Yeah. Shout out Trio House.
Yeah. Shout out to them. Shout out to Bree. I hope
Bree.
you are ready to come on the pod soon. But yeah, no, they're fucking tight. But yeah, like that's another side of like being a promoter where you kind of have to take into account where it's just like, well, if you like sometimes I know we book someone and if the show doesn't do what they're expecting, they're just gonna do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, bro, like try, like I don't know,
Yeah,
you know,
that's them, you know.
Right.
And
and it's like
that also goes like, how many times do you want to get booked again?
right. And
But not
like,
saying that we're not gonna book you again, but it's like if we know your potential,
like to me, like, and this is once again, I'm jaded, you know. So like to me, it's like the fact that like we're paying you,
yeah,
and also you think that you do these numbers, but you didn't, and now you're mad at us,
yeah,
and it's just like, well, like that's not fair, and also like. We love what you do, obviously. That's why we booked you, you know.
Yeah.
And we also selfishly want to hear what you do, you know.
Absolutely.
Like we're still trying to enjoy the party, also.
Yeah.
And if you're just like kind of like doing whatever, then it's just like, well, like you know, it doesn't, like, you know, then it makes us feel even shittier, you know.
Yeah.
We're just like it's an empty room, and then all of a sudden we're just like doing the bare minimum, like kind of just being like, all right, can I get my check, and then dip out, and it's like, well, dude, we also had an after party. There's a plate behind, you know, there's like, you know, or whatever. Like, I don't know.
When you're playing the show, always stay for a little bit after the show level.
Just
don't leave right after unless you have something pre-planned.
Also, if you come, at least more than anything, honestly, come an hour before your set. So then you don't play the same songs that the last person's played.
Multiple times I've heard that happen.
That's
A lot of the times.
I would much rather you come an hour early and leave right after your set if you didn't play the same song. And that just comes from you not wanting to be there. And or you know if
travel reasons,
travel reasons or whatever.
We're not talking all shit,
right? But like you know, like sometimes it's just like, well, no, I was at a different club and I just came and I'm doing
also,
my hour and then
don't show up drunk to your sets.
Yeah.
That's
But that's also coming
a
from like
second big one.
That's coming from personal experience.
Yeah. But it's just hilarious when you never met an artist before, and then
They're
like
trash.
all of a sudden they just come in and they're just trash, and you're just like, oh, okay, like that cool.
Yeah.
Like, let's see how you go.
Yeah. Like,
I'm not necessarily mad at you because if you can perform like that, then you know that's what
dude,
you do.
I know people who can DJ on ketamine. I'm on the floor. Like I'm on.
Well, that's why you have to dose it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I'm also not a professional, so.
Neither am I, but sometimes it works out. Hey-o.
But no, yeah. Like it's like as a like.
I had to stop smoking weed before sets because I would get way too in my head, and I would just sit. I would sit there, and I'm just like, because I'm dabbing, and I'm like, I take a fat dab before the set, and then next thing you know, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, they're gonna hate this,
Yeah,
and I'm
they
just
hated
like,
that transition.
and I'm just going in on myself in my head, and the next thing you know, I'm like, I'm not in the groove.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you're DJing, you know, it takes hopefully only 3 to 4 songs for you to find that groove, and then you're done.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
then
it's
you
like
can,
that. The first 12 minutes.
Yeah.
those are like the most important minutes where you're just kind of like you can find your groove and then go from like, all right, bet I'm already 15 minutes in. You know. Now we can just kind of like I know I have a solid 20 at least, you know, and then from there you can kind of just play along, you know, and just watch the crowd. But yeah, no, like I one time went to like F8 and I got there at like 10. My set was at 12. I was so trash just because everyone like if your name's on a lineup, you're drinking for free. Yeah. You know, so then everyone's like, "Oh, dude, I'll buy you a drink." Da, da, da. And I'm like, I made the mistake of coming in too early, and just saying.
That's why you say come an hour early.
Yeah. Just pace yourself because then everyone's gonna buy you a drink, which is sick because then you can save your drink tickets. Speaking of drink tickets,
oh god,
dude, isn't that okay? How many times did you get paid just in drink tickets?
I still do sometimes.
Dude, that's so unfair for you.
But like I haven't been. Not in the last like 2 years.
Right.
So
yeah, no, because I mean,
I
like,
hopefully will never ever again get paid to drink tickets.
Yeah,
but you know, if there's a spot that's only allowing drink tickets, I'm gonna have to respectfully decline.
Yeah, because like I mean, even with me right now, like I'm obviously no one, but I'm still just like I still have to drive there.
Yeah,
at least like pay like $50. I'm driving from like South Bay.
Yeah,
you know that's my gas.
Yeah,
thank you for that and my 2 drink tickets.
I can't even fill up a tank on 50. So.
No, yeah, I can't either. But like
inflation.
but it's just like one time we brought up Jazzy, right? One time we had an event and I guess the person who handles our booking and paying artists didn't pay Jazzy, and then all of a sudden he came at me sideways, which is fine because you deserve to get paid, but he came at me and was just like, yo, like blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, well, I didn't know, I had no idea that this happened, you know, and I paid him right then and there. But it was just like, it was one of those, me personally, I'm just like, well, us as a production / collective should cover our overhead at least, you know?
Yeah.
That's the bare minimum that we need to do.
I always, from day one, in Boots and Cats, I always wanted to pay every single DJ.
Right.
And no matter what, whether it means that
I lose money.
Yeah, whether
constantly.
it means that we get no money, then you guys get, but you guys made the show for us.
Right.
Right? Like we booked you, we wanted to book you, we'll pay you always.
Exactly. And like, yeah, like
anybody that never got paid, hit me up, we'll pay you right now. I really don't think there's anybody because they would have hit me up already, but
yeah,
you know.
And like, yeah, it's not like a one of those things where, I mean, yeah, this was like the early days of us doing Meraki or whatever, but it was still just like to me, it's just like as a business man, you know, like you have to make sure that every aspect is taken care of, you know,
dot the I's and cross the T's.
Right, you know, and just and like we just gotta do that for our artists, you know, because like without them we don't have shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, like that's what am I trying to say? Like the whole point is that like we want. As a production team, a lot of times what I've noticed is that they want to make a profit, and when they don't, they just throw their hands in the air and just say, well, fuck it, it's just a free party. And it's just like, well, no, like, you know, like maybe you shouldn't just, you know, go to the bar and keep getting free drinks. Yeah. Maybe you should pay for a couple of those because then that pays the bartender. Yeah. And then now the owner isn't mad, you know? But those are just kind of like small petty shit or whatever. But yeah, like,
always tip your bartenders,
dude. Okay,
always.
Also, pro tip. If you're a DJ, hand them a 20. You're set for the night. You get 2 drink tickets, but you're set for the night.
Yeah.
Just you know, take care of your bartenders. They're awesome. They fucking do so much more than you think. And they really do set the tone a lot of times with these parties. Okay, so kind of. Switch gears a little bit. You are playing with another Dutch bro, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So speaking of the Netherlands, the World Cup is coming up.
Yeah.
And that's in what, like a couple of days when this is released, I think. It starts the 17th or some shit like that.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. My dad's already got them all set up for the Netherlands game.
Yeah.
So.
But dude, okay, so it's
all the
happening.
recordings, because I ain't waking up that early.
Dude, I think they started at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, because they're in fucking, where that?
Qatar? Yeah. But, okay, so 2 questions. Obviously, you're going for the Netherlands, but is there a sleeper team that you have in mind?
Nah.
No? Just kind of just full vibes?
I'm full hup.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, right now,
Fuck
right now, like, I honestly haven't really thought about the World Cup too much.
I just can say, fuck Tottenham, though. That's all I gotta say. Sorry.
So, what's your team?
I'm right now. I'm really in between.
Right now?
Right now. I'm joking. I'm Arsenal.
Arsenal,
Yeah.
a gunner? Oh, okay.
That's okay.
No, yeah. They're all right. They're a solid team. They're a solid 9th place or something like that.
It's like the Sharks, man. I ride with the Sharks since day one, right?
Yeah.
Then we're gonna start talking about teams that always lose.
Oh,
Fuck.
dude. Yeah, no. Matt's a fucking huge Sharks fan.
Oh yeah.
It's depressed. They're playing right now. They just got the lead, so
Oh, there we go.
Hopefully they keep it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lost
dude.
in overtime the other night.
Dude, they lose
Yeah.
all the time, man.
No, I've
At
had
the very
season
end,
tickets since the, or my
shit,
dad has since the second season in the Cow
you
Palace.
played hockey, right?
Yeah.
You said, yeah, okay. I played roller hockey.
There you go.
High school, most of high school, all of high school, and then like a little bit of like middle school.
Good. Yeah, roller hockey. I want to get a. I don't fit into my size fucking 5 rollerblades that I used to have, but I want to get another pair.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a lazy bitch. I don't want to do cardio, but if I have a pair of rollerblades and a flat
Just zoom
surface,
it.
I'll start
Yeah.
It
zooming
doesn't
around.
feel like cardio. at that
No,
point.
not at
Yeah.
all. But then next thing you know, I'm tapped out. I'm about to pass out. I'm like, oh, shit, you need some water.
Yeah.
Shit.
No, yeah. Yeah, my girl really likes to fucking go to the roller skating rink or whatever.
Yeah.
And literally the next day, I'm pretty fucking sore. I also fall a lot, but, like,
That might have something to do with it.
no, for sure. But,
He's like my ass cheek. It's so sore the next day.
yeah, but no, it's yeah. I need to start doing more things like that where, like, I don't know it's cardio, but it's definitely cardio.
Yeah. Yeah, I just started a beer league softball Wednesday night. I pulled my hamstring last night.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Trying to run
No,
second base or what?
I ran to first. I hit the bag and then fucking. I was on first. I was like, "Hey, can I get a pinch runner?"
Yeah.
They're like, "You okay?" I was like, "I think I might have blown out the hammy." They're like, "Damn, we've lost a hamstring every game."
Jesus.
So-
Someone always forgets to stretch, right?
Yeah. Well, I did stretch though.
Yeah.
It was cold. Okay. I'll go with that.
But all right, so just to kind of wrap things up a little bit, do you want to promote your shows one last time, your socials and everything else?
Follow me. Oh God, I have so many different socials, so we got to make sure they're right.
Good.
They're always different. All right, so if you guys want to hit me up on Instagram, I post everything from shows to shitty content about me being bald. I would show you, but it's not bald right now, so.
Not with these studio lights.
Not with the studio lights. I'll look like Mr. Clean in this bitch. But if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's Alexander with 2 R's .music. And if you want to follow me on SoundCloud, I believe it is the same, just without the period. We'll throw all the links in the description so you guys can go check it out. Let's see. Halcyon opening up for Luke Van Dyke, the Dutchman. So 2 Flying Dutchmen will be in the building.
Fuck yeah.
That will be from 10 to 4 a.m., hopefully, on November 18th. And then November 25th, we got A-Craze at 10:15 Folsom. And myself and Mr. George.Daniel here will be partaking in the club room activities on the top floor. So come check us out there. We got a bunch of stuff coming up with our companies in 2023. Look out for that. If you guys want to hate Tottenham with me, leave a like in the comment, or leave it in the comments. Other than that, no, that's about it. Thank you so much for having me on,
Dude,
guys.
no,
I appreciate it.
Dude, this was sick. This was fun.
It's a very, very, very interesting vibe. I was like getting a little sweaty at times, but I was like, we're good.
Yeah,
We're good.
Yeah, nah. I appreciate you coming out. Thank you, everyone, for another episode. Matt, thank you again.
Thank you, Matt.
And everything will be dropped in the description below. Just remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out in the algorithm. And it also helps me to get monetized so I can start paying Matt. So
Fuck yeah, Matt needs his pay, baby.
Yeah. Speaking of shitty,
Thank you, Liquid Death.
Yeah, speaking of shitty promoters, right? Just like, comment, subscribe, fucking help us out. And once again, shout out to Liquid Death, our fucking sponsor. You guys can mix that green, that lime flavored one with some tequila, wash it down. Shit is fire. And they have a bunch of other variety of flavors and sparkling flavors or just filtered distilled water.
Water.
So thank you guys. And peace.
Peace.